plane was on fire.
Oh.
Now it's garbage.
Just another movie night.
Hello and welcome to the show. I am Scott.
And I'm Joe.
We're just another movie night, and we are doing Talking Furious. The show has been taken over by Fast and the Furious, and we are joined by our friends to talk about the Fast and the Furious franchise. And we are now on movie 6, 2013's Fast and the Furious 6, directed by Justin Lin again, and written by Chris Morgan again. This came out in 2013, and the budget, the numbers get sketchy. The last two times we tried to video, like a game show, to talk about the budget of these films, but I'm not going to do it anymore.
Should we ask Jared what he thinks?
No.
Okay.
No more of that shit.
Say it.
I redeemed myself last week.
The budget of this film is sketchy. It's either between 160 to $260 million. It's very iffy on the numbers.
Oh boy.
But the box office gross was $788.7 million. So now I'm going to introduce our friends who have joined us, our Bad Movie Night
Wait,
friends.
don't you mean family?
Yeah.
Our family is joining us, and I'm going to go around the room and I'm going to play a little game myself, just for me. I'm going to try to guess the movie that you saw that year instead of this movie. So I'm going to start with Jeff. I'm going to guess that Jeff was watching Hunger Games: Catching Fire.
Is that the year that this came out?
Yep. Aaron, it's a cross between Frozen and Sharknado.
Oh my god.
Both. those are my faves.
I think we saw all three of them.
Exactly. Oh, I figure everybody saw all these movies, but I'm just picking out the movies that I assume each one of you loved most that year.
Yeah.
And for Joe, I'm thinking The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. Or Lady Gaga Meets the Muppets. Probably that one, right, guys?
100%.
Yeah.
Loves Lady Gaga.
Gary.
I love the Muppets, you shit.
We got Gary over there, with which I'm guessing the most important movie of that year was either The Wolf of Wall Street or Man of Steel. What are you thinking?
I did see Man of Steel.
Yeah? Wolf of Wall Street?
And did not see Wolf of Wall Street.
Really? So I guess we're
in the theater, but there are two others I did see that were extremely well-known films. And I only went to the theater maybe 3 times that year.
Oh, Jesus. If you remember that well of 2013, you were like, oh, I saw a couple movies.
I actually looked at the list.
What about Marvel? 2 of those Marvel movies?
I did see Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was in the theater or home, but okay,
Really?
So the third one's Iron Man 3.
Okay. All right.
But you did mention one going around the room that I did see.
I didn't mention one.
Frozen?
No, you meant the ones.
So far, I've mentioned one that you did see. Well, Man of Steel was one.
Yes, you
So I
did,
guessed right on that.
Guessed one, but the other one with these 3 other contestants
Hunger Games.
was a movie I did watch.
Was it
Can you guess?
Catching Fire or was
It's
it Hobbit?
mine. It's mine. The Hobbit. Right?
It was
Frozen.
it was Hunger Games.
All right, we got Jared left, though. I didn't say Jared's.
Oh boy.
Oh.
No, this one was tough for me. This was the toughest pick of the movies that year that he might have cared about. So I had 2 choices here. And I went for either Now You See Me or Movie 43.
What is movie 43?
You don't want
I know, I could not think of what one.
So I will say this.
What,
Out of all the movies that you have listed,
yeah.
I had only seen 2.
Really?
Oh.
And I did not see them that year that they came out.
Okay. Because for me, I was going to say that the best movies of the year for me that year were Prisoners and Iron Man 3. That were the ones that stuck out to me the most. Oh, Wolf of Wall Street, of course, but I already had that for you.
I'm looking at the list of what movies premiered.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did see a movie that premiered the same weekend as this movie. I didn't see the same weekend, obviously, Memorial Day, but I did watch that film. One of the worst films I've ever seen in the theater.
Was it 43?
No, it was the Hangover Part 3.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
I agree with you.
That
on
was
this.
trash.
That was a hard one. I saw that too in the theater.
You motherfuckers! Leslie, get down from there! Please, you're gonna hurt yourself! Nothing hurts Chow. I am invisible!
Out of all the movies that you mentioned, the only ones I saw were Man of Steel and The Hobbit, Desolation and Smaug.
Still to this day, you haven't seen any of those that I've named?
Just those two.
Wow. Oh,
And,
jeez.
and movie 43 was just the shock value of having these A-list stars in it.
There's
Okay.
a lot of people in that.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, I wanted to see it, but I've never seen it. All right, so since this is usually talking trash, we're gonna talk out this movie because this is a long one and it's got a lot to talk about. We're gonna try to break down the entire plot of this thing. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm gonna try my best. But I'm gonna say this movie instantly starts off with of course, a race. A race on an abandoned, beautiful road. It looks like on the Wall of China. I don't even know what the hell's happening. And it's just to get to Brian. Brian's gonna have a baby. He's gonna be a father. And he's racing Dom to get there first. They have to, who's gonna be the first to get to the baby? As Mia is delivering a baby in a beautiful...
Like it looks like a
Like a
tropical. It looks
convent?
like a tropical paradise convent.
It's like
It's
a
like
convent.
nuns there.
There was nuns.
Yeah. And Brian gets there first. Dom lets him have the win. But he tells him, hey, man, life's going to change now. Once you go in that delivery room, everything's going to change. We're going to leave our old lives behind. And that's when we cut to the end credits and watch an entire montage of the entire series and relive all the memories just to have it open up and start all over again and say, you know what, we're back in the life
It
again,
was the
guys.
beginning credits. You said end
I'm going to
credits.
say end credits because that was an end credits.
It seemed like that was the end of the movie.
Yeah, you don't usually end. You don't like start a franchise's opening of a movie by saying, "You remember all the good times?" Usually, you end your last movie like that.
That was a weird, just
Yeah.
a weird choice.
I will say the reason they might have done this is because now the franchise is completely something else.
Yeah.
Because it's not that drag racing thing anymore. This is completely different. So I think they opened the movie with the drag race and got out of that and just said, screw everything from now on. We're Ocean's 11 meets the Avengers. I don't know what the hell this is anymore.
It's
but-
definitely something else.
We now cut to Dom in his bed with his girlfriend, who from the last movie is we had found out that Letty had died, and now he has moved on to a new woman who shares grief with him.
Yeah, it's Elsa.
She lost her husband, and now they share this together. But he's doing that thing where, you know what, she's not good enough. I'm going to look out the window and long for Letty.
Yeah.
And exactly at that same time, perfect timing, The Rock pops up. The Rock has found Dom.
Hobbs.
Well,
Yeah,
we knew
it's-
that.
okay.
Okay.
Hobbs. You want me to call him Hobbs? Gary hates the name Hobbs. He wants to call him Dwayne Johnson. He doesn't know why he even has a fake name in this movie.
Well, I mean, Hobbs is a little off. When you look at the image of The Rock, you don't get Hobbs from him. It seems like such a weird normal name. He needs something brutish.
Do you want him to be called Boulder Thunder Smash?
I like that.
That's
yeah.
a really
I
cool
like
name.
Yeah.
Boulder,
Boulder Thunder Smash.
Smash.
Jeff, what was his name again?
Hobbs.
It doesn't matter what his name is.
Oh, damn!
Wow! Now that is some serious disrespect right there, JR.
I didn't know he would play down the rock like that.
Yeah, how did you not see that coming?
Gary's about to crap thunder and eat smoke and all over this place.
He's trying to give me the people's eyebrow right now.
Yeah.
And failing miserably.
So, jeez.
So
It turns out from the last movie's finale, in the end credits, we found out that a non-wet Eva Mendes has thrown a folder at Hobbs, and that folder had a picture of Letty. And so we're led to believe that maybe something was up. So here we are again. He says, we got this photo a week ago. Now we all freaked out because we said, wait a minute, that last movie took place only a week later?
yeah.
So no, it's been a while because this is a new photo of her. I guess they got like a camera shot from her doing something else, which is strange. It makes me think that they wanted to be found, but we'll get into that. So, he shows Dom this picture, and that means Dom's automatically like, oh my god, the love of my life is still alive.
I mean, anyone's stomach would drop into their freaking kneecap if they found that out. You know?
remember how much screen time they had together in the first one?
Yeah.
You remember how much love they were in
It
the first
was
one,
like-
when she had to beat off the whores off of him?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
3.5 minutes.
He loves her so much now.
Well, they've known each other since they were 15.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I know. Yeah, we'll get to
Anyway,
that.
don't downplay their love, Scott. Okay?
And he
Don't
was
downplay their
and
love.
he was 34.
Oh God.
Ew.
Ew.
Oh my
You remember
god.
that scar when I backed you into a corner? Mm.
Ew.
Family. So, Dom is, oh my god, Letty's back. And The Rock is like, I'm sorry, Hobbs. Hobbs is like, hey, you know, we found you. It was easy. He says, I wanted to be found, which I don't know why. And he says, well, we're going to need you for a mission. And this is why. And you're going to beg me to go on this mission. And here's the folder. And that's when he sees Letty. And then he's like, oh, crap. And, of course, that's exactly when Hobbs leaves, to let him digest it. And let the girlfriend come out and see it and look over his shoulder and go, hey, that's your ex-girlfriend? Is she alive? Well, you should leave me.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it was big of her to say that, but I mean, nobody would feel that way.
We've
Like,
been spending
yeah.
a couple months together, banging.
Yeah, nobody
You can leave
would,
me now.
No one,
I've had enough of you.
No, that was
I'm
very
sick of you
unrealistic.
whispering.
It has to be somewhere around 9 months because, you know, Mia now has the baby.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So
It's been 9 months.
it's been a while.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. It's got to
Yeah.
be a little, if not
Probably
under
close to
9
a
months.
year.
Yeah, it's got to be
Yeah,
about 8
yeah.
months because she was throwing up in the last one. So yeah, so it's she was already pregnant, so it might have been a while.
Yeah, so, they've been together that long. I mean,
What was the baby's name again?
I have no idea.
Jack.
I was gonna say baby boy.
Hobbs.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter what his name is.
Now that is some serious disrespect right there, JR.
Dang. Everything that Jeff says, it doesn't matter.
Gary's just angry.
He's doing a great Hobbs impersonation.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want what? What?
No, I was just asking.
Okay.
No, so,
Oh my gosh.
so The Rock is promising Dom immunity from all this his past
I don't-
transgressions.
Not yet.
If he
Not yet.
does the
Not
mission,
yet.
right?
No, Don is asking for it, but
Dom is like, I have to bring a crew. He's like, only me. And Hobbs is like, no, you need to bring your crew.
Yeah,
And
because
so then he's like, gotta rope up all my boys.
yeah, well, Hobbs was using Letty as like a way to get to Dom
Yes.
to do the mission. It really has nothing to do with Letty. He was just using her as like a crutch because it has something to do with something else. So
Yeah, he's hoping that will push Dom and his group to get together to help him take down what he needs to, done. So yeah, he calls all the boys up, and this is shown in one montage shot of all their phones ringing while they're doing fun things. Tyrese is on an airplane called Tyrese Bitches, I believe.
No,
Tyrese
no,
Bitches?
Roman's. Bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry. His name is Roman.
No. It's Roman,
Roman.
bitches.
Roman's bitches.
It's his,
Jeff, this is where you're supposed to correct me.
I'm correcting.
I was queuing him up.
Oh man,
Roman.
it's Roman.
I just want to
bitches.
call them all their real names because that's how I see them. I think that they're playing themselves, and all the actors I think are playing themselves.
Possibly.
Yeah. So Tyrese, I'm sorry, Roman bitches 1 or something like that, and it's an air. He's got a whole bunch of women on there, and he's telling them they're gonna go to a casino and they're gonna have a great weekend, and they're like, "We're gonna bang the shit out of you. It's gonna be the best." And he's like, "Yeah," and he gets a phone call. And they all look down at it, and we see Ludacris, which I'm not. You guys want to correct me? What's his name?
Tej.
Tej.
Yeah,
I just say Luda.
yeah, Luda.
Yeah. Well, why can't I say Tyrese?
You can say whatever you want. You're the host of this show.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't say The Rock. I can't say Tyrese.
It's a tough
You
crowd.
could just
It
throw
doesn't
Jeff
matter
right out of
what
here.
their name is.
So yeah, he's shirtless and he is pumping some kind of fake credit card into an ATM that shoots money out for all the kids in the town.
That's what he's doing with all his millions. He's just creating.
He's living
this
his life large. Yeah, he's got a shark tooth. I mean, I don't know.
And
what's
he's
going on with this
ripped.
film. Yeah, he's ripped. Then we also cut to Han and Giselle. I actually said their character names. You guys got them?
Yay!
Yay, good job.
They are eating some good food in what seems like Tokyo, but I don't know if it is.
No, it is Tokyo. I clearly remember Tokyo being flashed up on the.
Yeah,
lower
it was
right-hand corner.
Tokyo.
Which makes no sense for later on.
No.
Correct.
Yes. And this is great because they have an entire team of like Interpol or something surrounds them, and they have to do funny ass poses with their guns around each other until one of the head Interpol agents throws a phone to them, and then they say Dom, and they show everybody saying Dom, and of course Roman's like, turn the plane around, bitches. Here's some coupons to get some free buffets.
I mean, that was pretty fucked up. Those were high priced plane hose.
He's still got to sit on the airplane with them for a while, by the way.
Yeah,
he's not
he
like he's
has.
parachuting out of that situation.
I know.
He's stuck
It
with
was
them.
so
Did
how
he join
awkward.
the Mile High Club?
I mean, we would just assume, like,
I mean,
but
what do you think?
but you know what?
What do you think he's
offered,
doing with them?
He offered the bitches like coupons for the buffet.
Maybe
so
that's
I don't know.
the coupon was for.
I mean, yeah. At least they got all that
Vouchers.
free champagne.
Vouchers.
Voucher. Sorry.
They got all the free champagne, so the plane hose are doing pretty well.
Yep.
You know?
And they're all, hey, look, Dom calls, you go running.
That's
they're
right.
all there and they know where exactly to meet up. And it's in some kind of like FBI white room, some kind of weird hangar that has soda machines
Yeah.
and every weapon you can imagine
It
ready
seems
to go.
like a weird, like a airplane hangar for no reason, but it's like
It kinda looks like a
souped up. Like it
warehouse,
looks
too.
like a nice like meeting room, like a
Someone called it the Bat Cave.
The Foot would hang out there. The Foot Clan from
What-
Teenage
Foot
Mutant
Clan.
Ninja Turtles.
Whatever agency Rock is working with from the previous movie.
Yeah, he's some kind of U.S. Marshal that somehow has like connection to the FBI. I don't
the
understand it.
NSS or whatever the agency
Which
is.
I want to point out that Eva Mendes' character worked for the
Livestock
not
unification.
livestock,
A customs agent.
a customs agent, and somehow has a connection to Hobbs.
Which kind of makes sense if you think about it the way that when we talk the movie out, it does make
Oh,
sense.
help me out there. How's the customs agent like?
Because if they're bringing stuff in and out,
Mhm.
that's what the customs agent is for. So if they're bringing goods in or trying to take stuff out, that's what the customs agent is for. So if they're based on later on in the movie, how everything gets put together, they would still be part of that because of some things that are mentioned.
Okay, all right, interesting.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else.
Oh no, do you want to?
Well, you want to
Tell-
wait till we get there? Or?
Tell us about the history
That's his.
of the customs agency to the United States.
Don't know anything about that, but based on the fact that from number 4, with Letty being, well, somewhere between Mexico and the United States,
Okay, that's true. I
and
see what you're saying.
we find out that our villain, who hasn't been named yet,
No, we haven't got there yet.
later on we find out that he was in America, and with all this back and forth with stuff that they're taking.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
See?
I like
I
it
like
too.
what you're doing, man.
That's
I'm
some
trying-
critical
I'm trying.
thinking right there.
So, yes.
I see the connection now.
It only took you a couple minutes. Okay.
So,
Should I say my line? Excuse me, jabroni. Do you have a name?
Sugar-coated toasties?
oh God.
We can't get through one episode without Jeff and his shenanigans. There's
Mom
always
is,
something.
and I want to point out he's playing video games too.
I know,
So.
he's not even
I wasn't gonna
focused.
say it.
Very focused.
No, you're.
This is like coming out of his ear right now. Like there's literally no reasoning. It's like he's just chiming in to make sure he's still part of this group.
And what I love is I see him do the lean, like he has something he wants to say, and he starts leaning, and he moves in a little slow. And I'm like, oh, here it comes, here it comes.
I think it's about to say no.
I'm waiting for the bad puns. I'm just waiting for them. I'm waiting for all the bad jokes.
Oh my God, we
I
can't
have
even
a
get.
good one for later.
We
I can't wait.
Right, I
But
can't.
you're not
wow.
supposed to tell us. You're supposed to.
the anticipation is killing us.
I know. Do we have to wait 2.5 hours?
You might.
Oh my god.
We haven't even gotten into the plot at all for
No.
this film.
We're
know-
getting there. We're getting there. So they assembled the team.
The team starts getting back together. Everybody shows up in this hangar, and we also see that Hobbs has a new partner, Gina Carrano.
Carano.
Mm-hmm. I know I was going to pronounce that terribly. He's got a new partner, and this is another partner that he has selected out of files of women that he likes their smiles.
Yeah.
He says, "I've read your file. You're going to be badass. I like you. You're on the team."
He's always partnered with a woman.
I think he says something like, "I hope you live up to your file," or something.
Yeah, he says something to the effect of, "If you're this good on paper, you're gonna be,
Yeah.
you're gonna be this good."
If you're as good on paper as you are in real life, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so he's got a new partner, and also Brian is brought into this hangar too. He is brought in because Dom tells them that Letty's alive. And so Mia's like, no, you have to go and help Don. She's family.
Family.
I don't know if this is the first time. I know we had a lot this time, families.
Yeah.
But so everybody shows up in his hangar. Brian says it's impossible because he was working on the mission that Letty died on. And he knows for a fact that she's dead. There's no way that's possible.
I'm not gonna lie. I got all the feels when they all were in the hangar together, and then Tyrese walked in and they were making jokes. Him and Ludacris.
Yeah, right off the bat, when the group starts getting back together, everybody's great.
I feel like this franchise needs Tyrese and Ludacris.
I'm gonna say it, guys. They're my favorite part.
Agreed.
I'm confused. You need Tyrese and Luda, but yet you need Dom in this.
I
As
mean,
well.
we need Letty too, and we need.
I mean,
So you need the whole entire team.
Yeah, but you know what? Cheech and Chong were absent from this meeting.
That's
I
true.
was
They weren't
fine
brought
with
in
that.
because
I was fine.
they said that they were robbing a bank, robbing a casino. From the last movie, they put all of the 11 or 10 million dollars that they had each on a roulette.
We saw them. We saw them playing in the last.
That's what I'm saying.
Movie.
That's
yeah.
how it ended. So obviously they lost their money and then robbed the casino to get it back.
Yeah,
So I think that's the joke there. For some reason, they cut their characters out of this movie.
which I'm fine with. There's too much going
There's
on.
a lot of characters going on in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all brought together in this group, and they're showing the files, and Brian is like, that's impossible. And he's like, no, we have, it's a fact that she is working with a person we're hunting named Shaw. And I don't remember his first name. Does anybody know this guy's first name?
Owen Shaw.
Owen, yeah.
We're seeing, thank you.
Yeah, look at that memory.
Because when he first said it, I thought he said Sean at first, and I was like, well, wait a minute, I thought his name was Shaw.
I said Shaw?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
The way it's said in the movie, it sounds
Oh,
like he
okay.
says, Hobbs says something about getting Sean. I'm like, Sean who? But then I realized he's saying Shaw.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Owen Shaw, and we see the picture. Of course, we get all the shots on these folders thrown on a table, and we see that it's Luke Evans from The Hobbit.
Luke Evans is awesome. He's in a bunch of stuff.
I like Luke. He's my favorite part about The Hobbit movies.
Yeah. He is.
So yeah, it's him, and he's the villain, and he has a team, and apparently because Ludacris sees it, he's instantly like, oh shit, I know this guy. He's the best. Him and his group are the best. They can get everything to. Oh, of course. When he knows, this is a guy who just did drag racing. He knows every criminal across the entire, every country. He knows everybody. It's fucking crazy how this movie's progressed. And later on, a character actually says, "You guys came from stealing DVD players," which is not true. And now we're saving the world. And The Rock says that this guy, this Shaw guy, he wants a device that will. It's like basically like an EMP type device that will shut down a country. It's so powerful, it's worth billions. And Ludacris is like, why didn't we steal this shit? And yeah. Right? But we're really here because Dom walks out in his white tee and he's like, Letty. That's why we're really here. We got to save our friend. Now, we were joking around that Tyrese and I think Ludacris never even met this character. They never even met Letty.
Are you sure?
She was dead in the movie that they met Dom for the first time.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, so they're all on board though. Even Han. Did Han? Yeah, Han knew her. But Giselle does not. Yeah, because Han was in that when they stole the tankers in the beginning. Han was one of the people stealing the tankers. So he definitely knew her, and they were helping each
That's
other.
right.
He's the only one that knew her then.
Yeah, that's before Dom dumped her and left, and then she went and did what she did to die. And Dom is I don't get Dom. Anyways, so
I don't get him either.
so that this team is brought together. They got to steal this device. They got to get this device from Shaw, and in the meantime, they also will find out what happened to Letty and what's going on there. And I think they all say okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna get. They promise that they're gonna get their records expunged.
I think one of them calls that out. I think Brian says, no, we're all going to have our records expunged. Because earlier in the movie, Brian's saying how it doesn't feel like home. And he misses the tuna, and he misses the tuna shop. And he doesn't like that beautiful, gorgeous countryside that they live on the ocean.
Really,
And
I know.
have their babies delivered by nuns in a company.
I know.
You know, it's insane.
You want to go back to that shit
I miss
whole
my
house?
tuna. I miss my tuna shop, and I miss my friends at the FBI who will hate me. Whatever. So yeah, he says we're gonna all have our records expunged, and everybody's like, yeah. Which I would say that what's crazy about that is that Tyrese seems to be living fine, traveling around the world, and somehow isn't a wanted criminal for what he did with the bank vault and.
Yeah.
I mean, they flashed his name, so that's
But
odd.
who knows where he's traveling from? Like
He's crossing borders though.
Yeah, I guess he is.
Once
but
he
he's got a
crosses one
private
border,
plane.
he's done.
He could say his name is Nick Papagiorgio, and he just
He had his name on his plane.
Yeah,
This is Roman.
I
Roman
mean,
bitches.
Maybe it could mean something else, but you can get away with that. There's ways to get away with that.
Well, unless
don't
he's
think
going to
so.
these countries that have no extradition, that would be the only way. Because Dom mentions that as well when Hop shows up.
Yeah, well, him. Yeah, I can't imagine Tyrese flying through the borders. Whatever. Anyways, so yeah, they're gonna erase their records for them, and everybody's in. And now I can't remember any of the movie.
So like their first I guess mission was like they wired. So they previously kind of got one of Shaw's men.
Okay.
Remember the little bald
Oh,
dude?
thank you,
And you're welcome. I'm here. That's why I'm here. Okay, I'm here to help you remember not so important characters.
They went to Moscow, and then in Moscow they found a heist has happened, and a car is in the side of a building. He says only one crew could have done this. This is one of those movies where there's only one thing that could have done that. There's only one place that could have this going to happen. So there's one team that could have done this. And so he goes and he's like, we got one of the members. And they go to the police station in Moscow. And he goes and he's like, I want time with them alone. And The Rock goes in there and you see what looks like Vin Diesel from behind. It's probably Vin Diesel's stunt double pretending. This is like Spaceballs. You accidentally caught one of the stunt doubles. So it turns out that Shaw has a look-alike Vin Diesel on his crew.
There's a lot of lookalikes.
When you break this movie down, this is insane.
If you sit them all down and just line them up with them facing a wall and just look at the back of their heads, they all
actually
look
don't.
like the same person.
Tyrese later on makes a joke about that.
Yeah.
That each one of it's like
They look
looking
like-
in a mirror.
Yes, they look like uncooked hot dogs.
It's
Well, they do.
amazing that this movie had two men this good looking with this limited budget.
Oh my god. So yeah, The Rock goes in there. It's not Vin Diesel. He seems okay with it, and he throws this guy around the room like a rag doll. He throws him around so much that he gives up Shaw's team.
Yeah.
But they now are going. They teamed up with Dom's crew, and now they're going to. This is where it gets very crazy because it moves really quick here. They're following the non-Vin Diesel. We're just going to call him, I don't know,
Hot dog head.
Ring Diesel. Ring Diesel goes in there, and he's going to infiltrate them. They have him wired, and he's going to go in there. And the SWAT teams are all going to Shaw's place. And the team, the Fast and the Furious team, the Dom's team, they're watching from around the buildings. And I think they're all in different spots because they start figuring out, wait a minute, I think that they're moving all the cops to one spot to do something else. And I think they're going to hit the device. They're gonna break it out.
Yeah, they're
Interpol or
Interpol.
something.
Yes.
Yes.
Aaron's
So he's
correct.
like, well, they moved everybody, so they're gonna go and take the device. So they kind of go toward that, the group, while Dom, Brian are watching the location where Shaw's supposed to be. And of course, I mean, not a shock. This goes sideways because Ring Diesel goes in there, and Shaw is like, you know what? It's all good, bud. And he yells out. He thinks he's going to shoot him for some reason. He starts screaming, "No, Shaw, no!" Right? And they're like, "It's him. We got confirmation." Of course, it only takes Ludacris to say, "We got confirmation." There's an entire Interpol working with
Yeah,
this.
no, the Interpol doesn't know what they're doing.
No,
It's only
apparently no
Luda.
one- yeah,
Luda
of
knows
course not.
everything.
They have no good agents whatsoever.
No.
So, of course, they cut back to Shaw. He's just throwing him a bag of money. And he says, "Hey, this is everything we owe you. It's been really nice working with you. And there's more money in there for the next job." And he's like, "What? What next job?" And we see Shaw jump into a NASCAR level Batmobile.
It's like a dune buggy Batmobile.
it
was
looks like
kinda
a
pretty
gutted
cool.
NASCAR.
It looks like a
Go-kart.
Mad Max Batmobile.
Something that you built out of like those constructs when you were a kid. It's
Oh,
like all
connects.
metal. It connects.
Yeah.
And it's got a flat front. So you automatically know, oh, this is... We kind of figure out where this is going.
I love how it like went sideways, like while I was driving.
What do you mean? No, I think it was drifting.
No, no, Jeff's correct. There's a couple scenes in which he's going straight, and it just kind of casually goes to the side without even turning the wheel. They mention it later on. They said something about hydraulics.
Really?
Interesting.
So the car is able to go sideways?
Right. So it's like he's driving straight. The next thing you know, it's like he cuts into the other lane without even turning the wheel. He just kind of it looks like he just slides over into the next lane.
Wow, I just thought that was really quick
So-
moving.
No,
Like from
you almost
NASCAR.
said-
Post-apocalyptic.
I noticed
drift-o-matic.
it, but I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me because the scene is it goes so quick. Well, the bag that Ring Diesel has apparently has a bomb in it. The SWAT team goes in. The Interpol goes in to get in there. Ring Diesel looks in the bag. There's a bomb. It's gonna go off. Shaw takes off through the front door while every single pillar in this car garage explodes around him. It's
So
amazing.
cool.
It was
looking.
one of the most
It was a-
amazing explosions I've ever seen in a movie.
And Justin Lin said, again, I'm going to do as many practical effects as I can do because every time they said, no fucking way. No wonder the budget's 200 and something million. When he's like, I want a tank in this film and an airplane, they said, I don't know if we, no, we're doing it. We're
Yeah.
doing this. We're going to
This
kill somebody in this film.
This scene reminded me of the 1960s Batman.
Absolutely.
When the Joker would throw a bomb into a bag. Here's your bonus, and he starts laughing and runs away. And he's in the little Joker mobile, like you remember in the
So
series.
true, yeah.
And he would drive off. And go, that's what I'm looking at. I just not hearing the Batmobile.
And they always had look-alike villains that look like someone else that they can dispose of. Yeah. So yeah.
Don't say
of
Vin
cou-
Diesel again.
Ring-
I'm gonna start laughing.
Ring Diesel explodes. all of Interpol dies. If you ask me, I don't know how anybody survives
The
this.
whole block was leveled.
They get leveled, and Brian and Dom are like, "Oh shit, he's on the run!" So they jump in their cars, and because I just thought it was something. I was like, "Is that this scene?" No, this is later on. Okay, so yeah, Shaw is now going NASCAR level crazy by ramming all of the police that are still alive somehow with the front of his car that are flipping them in the air.
Yeah, it was
Crazy.
crazy.
He's also got Dom's other half of the team are going after a bunch of Shaw's other agents, which we see is a blonde woman in another matching NASCAR-esque level car, and a couple other SUVs that have a bunch of other henchmen in it. And they're going after them in their cars, Dom's team, but they're shooting a weapon that shoots little tiny EMP devices on the fronts of their cars. They're like magnets somehow. They magnetize to the front of their cars, and they're able to shut them off, which makes both Tyrese and Ludacris flip out of control and somehow survive that.
I was
But
screaming through this whole
Yeah,
scene. I
that
was fearful.
scary.
11 years later, after the second movie, where they have the claw.
They had Doc Ock claws.
Yeah, the giant
electricity
claws that would land in the cars, and EMP device would shut down their engines.
The technology is jumped.
Technology amazing, kind of like the VCR.
Like the VCR.
DVD.
I was going to say the VCR, this is exactly the same
And-
boost up in technology.
And again, I don't know if we skipped it or There's a lot of things going on in this movie, but know that Shaw knew Dom as the great DVD international.
Yes. We haven't got to that
criminal
yet.
lord.
That comes in way later. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So yeah, Shaw. They had this planned out. They knew that. I don't know how they knew Dom's team was going to be a part of it. I don't know. It's baffling. But they shoot an EMP also on Brian's car. But Brian got it right on the corner of the front of his car, which he seems to know it's there, and is able to turn around a pillar and knock it off and somehow not have it shut down his car. It doesn't really matter because this all goes into a giant race inside of the tunnels system, the tunnel roadway system. This is not the tunnels that Gary thought of, but this is the tunnel system. And they go in there, and Brian's car is smashed down by the woman driver. There's like a blonde woman driver. She is able to flip his car, and she goes back and just to wink at him.
These were not the tunnels I was looking for.
These are not the tunnels. But yeah, Dom and Shaw have a whole confrontation. But Dom is knocked out of the race by another car, another muscle car. And he says, "It's Letty."
And The Rock's chasing Shaw.
While The Rock is in a Hummer, right? It's some kind of Humvee or...
Yeah, it's a big, humongous car.
Yeah. And like, there's no fucking way. I don't believe that he's catching up at all. But he's going after him. One of the best scenes is he jumps from the Hummer. And lands on Shaw's car, which is down below. Now his car is way faster, but he jumps, flies on, lands on it, does absolutely nothing.
He looks
falls
like one
off
of
and
those
rolls on the
flying
floor.
squirrels. You know what the
Yes.
Yes.
like just like that.
He does that. Everybody does that in this movie too.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's a big thing in this film. Everybody jumping and hovering.
The strength it takes to make that jump, it looks like Hobbs has been eating his blueberry pancakes.
That's true. That's true. And his shirt is not ripping in any of these scenes. It's the tightest damn wet suit you've ever seen in your life.
how does he fit? It looks like a toddler shirt.
Yes, it's so
It
small.
is.
He can't even put his arms
You
down.
went to the children's store, the children's place,
Yeah.
to buy that.
I mean,
Awful.
if it was possible for him to land on it in real life, wouldn't he like crush the top of that car? Unless it was a certain type of metal or something.
Well, it's flipping cars, so cars,
Yeah.
a ton are
True.
flying across of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's put together with like some heavy gauge steel. So him landing on it from the height that he landed on, I
Would
think he would
hurt.
be a little bit hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also falls off and rolls against the pavement and gets his gun out and shoots at it, but does nothing. So this does absolutely nothing. You think he's going to stick a grenade in it or something? No, nothing. And Shaw's team wins. They escape. They got the device, everything. I think they got away.
Yeah. And then
And
it goes back to like Dom and Letty like chasing each other, and then what is it? Like, so Dom like finally like gets out of the car, like he like how does he maneuvers the car to hit Letty because he knows her driving so well.
yes, that's true. And she gets out of the car and he says, "Letty." And then she shoots him. And she shoots him perfectly in the shoulder. And she says she left.
and she
missed.
just left.
She missed. And she gets in the car and she leaves. Right? So now everybody's coming together. Now Dom's shot. The team has failed. They're like, there's no way we're going to beat these guys. Like, of course, Tyrese is the funny one. He's like, no, there's no way we're going to lose. Like, you know?
Yeah. Tyrese is just hysterical through these movies.
And I'll also say that both Giselle and Han, their actions in this film are kind of like very forgettable. Like you constantly keep forgetting they're in those scenes. Like you're like, oh yeah, what were they doing? What were they up to? What was Han doing?
I'm not
in this?
feeling their romance either. I'm not feeling that.
Yeah, they're highly involved. He's absolutely in love with her.
I fall in love with Han myself.
Oh.
I understand.
Oh.
I didn't understand before, but seeing him in this Ford Street movie, what an actor.
Damn.
The couple times I saw him in this, I'm like, what is Han's job here? I think
What
he's
is
just
he supposed to do?
I think he's just here to state the obvious about the scenes that he's in. Because
Yes.
it seems that that's all he is doing.
Yeah.
That's
And we
it.
know he can't fight for shit. So
What's the fourth movie, Gary?
Are you trying to set up a trap or something?
I don't know what just happened.
I don't
I don't know, but I feel like there's gonna be like a standoff.
Yeah, I feel like it's too.
Jeff is like
He
a
said he loved him in 4 movies of the Fast and Furious.
He wasn't in all of them.
He was only in 3.
Okay, so we're calling each other
Doesn't
out
matter.
now.
Someone say it.
He,
It doesn't matter. Keep on going.
He's in 4.
So yes, Han and Giselle, not very memorable.
Kind of freaking standoff. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jeff has gone out of his mind.
What's happening?
Yeah.
He's in 3 movies.
He's in 3, 4, 5, and 6.
That's 4. Counting.
Go back to sleep there, pal. All right.
Please.
Stick your face. Stick your face
I
in
didn't
your
want
cell
to do
phone
it.
and
I didn't want
retreat.
to point it out. But I was just
I
like, let me
forgot
let it
how
go.
to count.
I just wanted to see
forgot
how
to
far
count.
this is gonna go. Gary's
Oh
silence
my
says it
God.
all because Gary's like, is someone gonna say something to this
Oh,
turn?
I didn't want to do it. I was like,
just give me this mic. Just
I'm
sit here.
done.
Play your game right there.
I'm done.
Would you want a soda?
someone
Big
get this
Daddy?
man a Coke. Yeah.
I must have forgot about the 3rd movie.
Oh my god.
Oh
Okay.
God.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, the plan.
So, geez. You know what, guys? What a shock. But the bullet, it only can only be fired from one gun, and that gun is only from one location. So it's time to go to a pawn shop
Woo!
in London
I mean,
to ask a guy where this gun, who sold it, who bought it, and just to connect. While also Gina Carrero and
Carano.
whatever.
You have to get it right, man.
I don't know. What's her name in this movie? Does anybody know that?
Nope.
Nope.
I could tell you. Her
Well,
name
you're
is.
cheating.
Hobbs.
It is Riley.
No, see, don't even remember them saying her name.
Remember that either.
No, they don't say her name.
They definitely
Was Hobbs calling her Riles?
Right.
Nickname?
What, if there's like a little pet name or something.
It doesn't matter what her name is.
Like her main job in the first 30 minutes was to get the baby lotion.
It's true. That's true. There's some great jokes about
Yeah.
him being oiled up, The Rock being oiled
Oh
up, and
my
everything.
God.
I think Tyrese keeps saying it. By the way, the joke about Tyrese is his forehead, which is really, really funny, and it keeps coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're gonna start splitting up the team because they know. No, I saw her. Letty's alive. We have to figure this out. We have to stop Shaw. We have to get to Letty. So I think the team starts coming with an idea. They've tracked a guy who makes special equipment for Shaw.
The only man in the world
The only man in
that can make this special equipment.
Yes. So the women, both Giselle and Riley and Tyrese and Han split up to go find this one guy, while Dom and Brian go to the pawn shop to go interrogate
to
this guy to
tussle
see
the
where
guy.
they got this gun and who. It's just crazy, and
Like, what difference does it make where
really-
the fucking gun comes from?
because they're trying to
They're
locate
trying
Shaw.
to find Letty because, like, it's like it's like who bought the guns, and it's like, oh no, some girl, and she had dark hair. I said blonde. I was thinking of Paul Walker
She
in my
was a
head.
street racer.
She was
She
a
was a
street
street racer.
racer.
I mean, there you go.
Oh, that makes sense because, like, yeah, it comes back with the whole street race. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. It's coming together. Just like I had to talk it out. Yeah, I get it now. Cool.
Well, the Tyrese and Han and Giselle and Riley, they all find this guy who's making special equipment. This is a weird punk rock blonde who's working in the middle of nowhere, shooting a harpoon through a cinder block. And they're like, that's our guy. And they're like, well, Tyrese is like, you know what? I'm going to talk to him. I can talk to anybody. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to say, everybody just watch my back. And the girls are like, stay back. We got this. He's a man. We can handle it. Tyrese is like, what? What the hell is that shit?
Like, what does
And
that mean?
They go handle it. But because this is a guy in a movie, they have to completely hit on the girls and talk complete trash to them instantly when they see them. When two women walk up to you, the first thing you say is, "Are you the hookers that I don't order normally? Like I order hookers all the time. Are you the ones? I didn't order them today." Like,
He
I mean,
did
like,
say
what?
that.
Who the hell would say that?
He tried to be respectful by saying escorts.
Oh yes.
Oh, that's right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you're
get it
right.
right. He said escorts. It's a high-priced
I failed.
hooker. You're very classy.
I failed.
You know?
Well, that leads Riley to beat the living shit out of him until they can give him the information. But Shaw has sent his goons there, which is also, I will point out, Joe Taslim? I believe that's how you pronounce his name. From The Raid, shows up in this movie. doesn't have a lot of lines, but I heard that behind the scenes that he did so good, they just kept putting him in the movie. So he's like, he was supposed to die early. I think he might have been the one that dies here. But they just said, like, I like them. Stick him in the movie. Which is great. He is an awesome actor. I cannot believe he's not bigger. So yeah, they show up and they automatically riddle the place with bullets. They don't even give a chance to save their guy that works with them. They just riddle them with bullets. And Letty's with them, by the way. And Letty sees that they're just trying to kill everybody without even helping. And before he dies, the guy that works there, she says, Giselle says, hey, help us take down the people who shot you and did this. You know, we'll make it right. So he points out his phone in his pocket and she takes it. While Riley is having a gunfight with all of them. And Giselle is able to walk out the door, and with bullets riddling all around her perfectly, she's able to shoot. Yeah, stormtroopers, all the villains in this movie. She's able to shoot one of them on the bike. Joe Taslim gets away, and that leads to a chase with Tyrese and Han to go after him. He gets in a subway, and an amazing fight scene. He beats up like 5 cops in the subway.
It's crazy.
And they gave him an entire scene just to do like great action stuff. And he fights them. And after he brutalizes these cops, that's when Tyrese and Han are like, I guess we should try? And they get their shit kicked out of them.
Oh my
man.
god, so bad.
And I love this scene. Like, I absolutely love this scene because it gives the heroes that we're supposed to be following a little bit of, like, they can lose.
Yeah.
Because this is not normal for this franchise, and Dom never loses.
That's how I felt about the first chase also, because they lost.
That's true, too. They kind of lost, although they kept separating certain characters, so Dom didn't lose. He had to go after Letty and let Shaw win.
But everybody else lost.
Yeah, everybody else kind of lost.
Yeah.
But
And
not
I
Dom.
love that. It just, like, really humanizes the characters a little bit, that they can fail, which is great. After that, though, it doesn't matter, because after that, they're perfect. Like, they're amazing. But yeah, they get their asses kicked while Riley follows Letty, and they have their standoff. And I'm also going to I appreciate in this film that the women are given more to do, and they're also becoming better characters, because I think in the other films they're all pretty much just they need to be saved or something like that. They're hardly in each film. Like, Letty didn't have lines, hardly any lines. We were making jokes that there's a scene between Brian and Letty in this film. Is it the first time that they actually had lines together, which is crazy if you think about it, because this is the 6th film in the franchise, and you're like, these characters never even had conversations yet. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy.
so the women are getting something to do here, and this fight's pretty great. Riley and Letty kick the shit out of each other on the subway as well.
Some
And
good
the stunt
stunts.
work is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Really good stunts.
But Letty is somehow able to escape Riley and get away on the subway.
Yeah.
He's leaning. He's
Uh-oh,
got something.
Jeff
Yeah,
is leaning. What you got, Jeff?
you got
Come on.
something.
I got my pun
Oh
for
god.
the night.
Okay.
I'm ready for a response.
You're not
Here.
supposed to announce the pun.
It went over the rail.
Oh god. Give me this mic. Just give me this
You mean
mic.
it went off the rails?
I think, guys, we got railroad.
Yeah, he meant it went off the rails and didn't even get the pun right. And he didn't even set up the scene
like
to
what?
get that to make
Yeah.
sense.
Our listeners don't know that there's rails involved, honey.
No, because
It's like
she got on
Willy
the
Wonka moment.
subway.
The suspense is building up too
She
much.
got on the subway, so
can't hold it in.
over the rail.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm glad I waited. I hope everybody else is glad
I mean,
too.
that was just okay.
There's my 2 cents for the night.
I
Okay.
totally forgot
wow.
about the pun.
You forgot about it?
He said it was coming up later. I didn't think it was coming up then.
Oh man,
All right.
I can't.
Well,
All right, so Letty gets away.
Letty
out.
got
Yeah.
away.
Letty got away, going off the rails and jumping into a metro. Very nice, honey.
Good.
Good job. Proud of you. Moving on.
All right.
Well, Joe and Letty go back to Shaw's base, and they tell him, hey, we lost one of the guys. And he says, that's nice. Anyways, when you fail, that's what you pay the price. And she's like, well, thanks a lot. Were you going to give us all that kind of
Eulogy
when we die? You're going to tell us all that?
It makes that I don't like that scene because it makes it seem like Letty has some sort of personal relationship with this guy. Like in order to be able to talk to him like that, like it's a little bit, you know.
We find out that he found her in a
hospital.
In a hospital without memory, and he just picked her up
Okay,
out of the hospital.
We don't ever go back to that, do we? No.
I mean,
How does
no.
what was he doing in a hospital? Walking around looking for, like, as Gary said, amnesia victims? I mean, what the fuck is this guy walking around a hospital for? How would they ever meet? And when he just walked up to her and was like,
It
"Hey,
actually
girl,
kind of gets explained.
you want to be a villain with me?
I can explain it.
Please do."
Well, Giselle had found that phone from that guy, and it turns out the phone is attached to another villain from the franchise. Turns out we're going back to part 4. The villain from part 4 that Brian and Dom have locked up and set all of this into motion is working with Shaw.
Bucho.
Bucho and his right... No.
Not Bucho.
Compost?
Compost.
Compost.
Santos.
Yes, compost
Santos.
/ Braga.
Braga.
Braga. I like Bucho.
What?
We've been saying that the whole
Bucho.
week, by the way.
You
Bucho.
went.
Who the fuck is Bucho?
Bucho is the guy from the vault.
This is Jared's fault because he put Bucho in my head.
That's the villain's name in Desperado, and he kept calling him that in
Is
part
that the
5.
same actor?
No.
Yes.
No, Bucho's that guy from Desperado.
And that's the same actor
No.
that's in 5. Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Oh my
I
god.
promise.
No. I think you're confusing. We're talking about 4. We're talking about Braga. We're not talking about that guy.
Kombucha?
No, I get that.
I'm just telling her that
But-
he's the one from Desperado that's in part 5.
Correct.
That's all I know.
Right. Okay. I got you.
Whatever. I don't know who Bucho is and I don't care.
Bucho was the villain in part 5. That's all you need to know.
Fine. Okay.
That's what we're calling him. That's not his name, though. His
What
name
is
is
it?
something. Who gives
Is it
a shit?
Campos?
Yo, say it.
It doesn't matter what his name is.
Hey, I'm trying to get things right here,
Just to let
goddammit.
you guys know, there's been about 7 or 8 instances I've held off saying that.
Thank you.
That would have been
You need to stop us, okay? So it turns out, like I was saying, that the guy from part 4, his right-hand guy, was the guy who killed Letty, apparently. Which, now we get a flashback to seeing that he didn't shoot her. He shot her gas tank that blew her out of the way into a canal.
Did she go into a canal?
And gave her amnesia.
Yeah, she blew from the car to Mexico. And that's how she got amnesia.
Holy shit, you could be right. Is that what it was? She drank the water?
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's where she blew, from the car to Mexico.
we don't understand where they were, so that makes a lot of sense. How they escaped Mexico in the first place never made sense.
I hope in Fast 7 we see a flashback scene where Shaw finds her like in a walk-in clinic or something.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
just hanging out.
I was gonna say
Hey, girl.
I was
For
gonna say
victims?
that I had a feeling that might actually occur, but I don't think it does. But something else comes back after this movie that you guys are all going to be laughing about.
But no one told me the answer. I mean, okay, so you're
So
telling me.
it turns
okay.
out that Compost. What's his name? Braga.
Bucho.
No, not Bucho. It turns out
Ricky Tan?
Evil guy number 4. We'll go with that one.
he,
Let's just call him Jabroni.
Jabroni, I like it. Okay.
they knew that she survived, and they were working with Shaw, and Shaw went and picked her up. Specifically, what I believe is to go against Dom. I don't understand some of this because he
Yeah.
hired a guy that looks just like Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also makes no sense because he actually says to Brian, "You put an FBI agent, put somebody undercover in my group," which makes no sense. Why would you keep her alive?
Wait, what? Wait, who said this?
Braga says this to
Oh,
Brian. in the
Braga.
jail.
Yes. Okay, so
Which
what we need
makes
to
no sense. Why would you even keep her around if you know that she's tied to the FBI?
How do we get to this Bucho, whatever dude?
Braga.
Braga.
1 minute, because Jared already brought something up
Yes,
that we
he
can
did.
skip forward a little
Yes,
bit.
we did.
Because Giselle goes and says, "Hey, you know what? My old boss, Brian, put in jail is connected to Shaw, and Brian's like, I have to go undercover into jail to get to Braga to talk to him, but we had to set it up. So we're going to bring back our old guy that I worked with in part 2 or 4? Which one was it?
4.
And 4. Right.
We're going to bring back Shea Wiggum, and I'm going to make him my bitch again by smashing his face in it.
That's so messed up.
And this
Poor
guy's
guy.
like, enough is enough,
They
dude.
bring back this poor actor just to get beat on.
Yeah. And so Brian goes into jail for what reason? I don't know. But of course, they send a hit to kill Brian in jail. And that's where he basically beats 5 people with shivs that sound like they're whipping around like paper. He beats them all and gets the information from Braga.
It's so extra, though. It's so extra. Why do you
Braga's
have to
like,
get thrown into jail and fly all the way across the world just to go back to jail so he can get 5 minutes of information out of this guy?
And what's his name? The FBI agent, I forget who he said he was.
Shea Wiggum is the actor's name.
When he told Brian that, hey, as soon as your name clears, everyone in prison's going to know who you are. They're going to come right after you. So when the target comes to him in a jail cell, he spills his guts. He tells him every single thing.
Everything, yeah. He keeps stabbing him in the leg. That's how he tells him everything. But what does he really get what information does he really get that's important here?
He wants the backstory of how did what's her name?
Letty.
How did Letty
Lifty for you, because he likes it.
how did Letty end up with this group? The greatest.
He's like, yeah, we said, and then that's why we have the whole flashback of when the villain, the sidekick, shot the car and blew her up. That they knew they put her into a thing, that they knew that she was still alive, and that Shaw, he works with Shaw, and Shaw was like, I'll use that, but for what end? For what end do they need to bring in Dom's group?
They wanted to show that Shaw was orchestrating everything before that because he spilled it that Letty was a mole.
Yeah, but for what end is this all? What's the
end result? Like, what are we?
Well, the key thing that Braga says, he says to him, if Shaw wants you there or wants you to be around him, he will make sure that you are around him. It's a key to say later on. It's basically misdirection.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if he was going to set them up, that he wanted Dom's group involved so he could set them up to take a fall, but he's working with Hobbs. So it doesn't even make sense that he's working with the agencies. So
yeah, I do think they're just gathering the same intelligence that Hobbs is on everybody else. They're just gathering all the information on who these people are. How did they even know who they are?
This is why.
Where did they even get any of the names, faces, anything as far as what's going on?
Yeah, and of course, it's like the mirrorverse of all the heroes. We got all the villains, and I think Tyrese at this point points out, we got every one of us in this group we're fighting.
Everyone like a doppelganger.
It feels we're giving paychecks out for appearances.
True.
You know what? We're making so much money now.
But I kind of love that they're bringing the characters back, at least connecting the universe a little bit, because I like that they're not acting like certain people still don't exist. You know, like they should bring back. There's a lot of FBI agents should be pissed at Brian that they haven't brought back, that they should. I kind of like it. I kind of respect it a little bit that things keep coming back. Although I would again say that Dom is like the part that brings the movie down a little bit. It's all these other characters connecting to the universe that I enjoy so much. But who cares? Because we move on and they have harpoon guns. So yeah, the characters are now retrofitting those guns that they got from that guy's junkyard or whatever the hell he's working at before he died. Yeah. And they are retrofitting these things to make tons of them. Well, later on, we find out that they have 8 of these damn things now. I know that Shaw has a plan, and I know he does something else here, but I cannot think of a fucking moment of what Shaw does.
Speaking of those harpoons, it reminds me of Game of Thrones, season 8, episode 5, where they had those.
A specific moment 5.
They had those bows, or those for the dragons. We have a whole bunch of them ready to kill
Oh,
him.
yeah, you're
They're
right,
making
yeah.
it unbeatable. They showed you one, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we'll take him out within the first
So
5
true.
minutes of the show.
So true.
Is this where Dom and Letty race?
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
I
Like,
feel like something
that-
else has occurred.
well, like Paul
with
Walker goes
Shaw's
back on the
group.
airplane, and then I don't know because then
Doesn't Shaw's group do something?
I don't know.
Anyways, so yeah, basically Dom uses the information he got from the pawn store to the pawn store to go to that racing place, and he sees Letty there, and of course he pulls up alongside Letty. And by the way, Shaw has pointed out to Letty, this is who we're up against. So it's like he didn't know Dom's group was going to get involved, but it seems like they wanted him to get involved because they show Letty a picture of Dom and her together, all like her on his lap and like almost kissing. And he's like, "It seems like you know one of them." She's like, "I don't know any of these people. I don't remember any of them." So, and she doesn't really know a lot of them. So yeah, so
I'm still like really just taken aback by this whole like hospital thing.
it's terrible writing. It's soap opera writing. They're doing actual soap opera writing. That's why I cannot believe they haven't done Evil Twin yet. You know, like they should do Evil Twin in 10.
Soon.
Hopefully it happens.
Hopefully.
So yeah, that's when Dom goes and tries to flirt in the only way that Dom knows how to flirt with people: racing. Racing for cars. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And so he races with her for her car or whatever. And at the end, he beats her, of course, and she's mad. But he really just wants to talk to her, and that's where we get what Vin Diesel thinks is romantic.
Checking out
Getting
all-
very close to a woman who doesn't really remember you, and touching her body and every scar on her body and pointing them out. But
I
she
think he
seems
was
into
just-
it.
He was just trying to like bring her back to be like, okay, I really do know you better than anybody.
Yeah, but he's so close on her, and he's like,
I mean, it's a little bit invasive,
"You're
but
15 and you're in my room."
that one's a creepy one.
That's a little invasive.
Yeah.
Here, let me show you. He keeps going lower and lower.
I
and
know.
lower.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
She
and-
finally pulls her pants like to the side, and she's like, "What about this long scar?"
I mean, it's not like she wasn't into it. She was into
That's
it.
what I'm saying. It's,
So
it's weird.
whatever, you know. I mean, he just wanted her to remember who she was, or basically
it-
like
it
that
works.
he knows her.
But she says to him that she's not that person anymore, and she virtually leaves. But exactly the moment she leaves is where Shaw drives up. He's been watching this entire time. They've all been watching. So he
Creepy.
drives up to have a conversation with Vin Diesel across a lot. And Vin Diesel, of course, whispers, but Shaw can hear everything. So he's slowly walking up, and he knows every little information about Dom. So much that he's like, "You remember when you used to rob DVD players?" And you were talking about this before. And your heist, you've gone from this to this, and now you're working with a cheap FBI agent, Hobbs, right? Something like that.
Second class.
A second class FBI agent. Why would you stoop so low? And he's like, "It's all for her." And he's like, "Look, I'm telling you, if you don't back off now, I will take that cute little Spanish girl that you're with, and also your sister. I will hurt your entire friends and family. You don't want to mess with me."
Yeah, they said family a couple times.
Oh,
in
and that
whole,
scene-
like scene.
There
They
was,
say
like,
it about 5 times in that scene
4
alone.
families
Yeah.
in that scene.
Like,
So-
you got a code?
family.
Yeah.
We're at 19
He
families.
said, "Oh yeah, you have a code. I see you are all about family."
We're family.
Now, I know you guys are a family, so I'm offering you a chance right now to make that family whole again.
You want to make this family whole again?
You don't turn your back on family.
Your code is about family. That's the only way you're gonna keep your family safe.
Brother never told you never threaten a man's family?
This is your family. This is my family.
Thank you for the little angel, the newest addition to our family.
Correction, 21.
Yeah.
And that's where Dom has a sight, red sight from a sniper rifle go onto his chest, and he's like, "You should have walked away a long time ago." And of course, Dom says, basically smiling the whole time conversation. He's just giving like a fart face, and he's just like constantly like laughing about it, like he knows everything. And he's like, "You think I came alone or whatever?" And then another sight goes on to Shaw, and we see, and he's like, "Let me guess, Hobbs." And he's like, "Yeah, the 2-bit policeman," or whatever the hell it is. And so Hobbs standing in the open, up on top of a thing. Any sniper could have killed him already.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But
He's
my
so
favorite
unopened.
thing is that he's like, okay, I'm gonna retreat. So Shaw then walks back to his car, but as he's like getting in his car, Hobbs could have taken the shot and ended all of this.
But Dom would have been killed.
No,
I mean, I would have been fine
from
with
the-
that.
Well, no, at that point,
From
no.
the sniper, because like then he, as he was walking, he did like the whole like
Yeah.
little like I don't know what is
Yeah,
the
he-
little finger.
Luke
Wrap it
Evans
up.
means let's
Wrap
go.
it up.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Wrap
what
it
it
up.
means. Like let's go. So his
Okay.
team was already disbanding. Whatever sniper he had hiding was already, putting up his rifle. And,
Joe's starting to forget about Dom there. He's like, where you just shoot him? It's just Dom. Don't worry about him.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's your favorite. He could have
Yeah,
knocked the
that's-
sleeve off or something.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
he had a nice jacket on, but still sleeves. I say no.
So yeah,
Did Hobbs have like a listening device too? Because like he perfectly
thank you.
aimed-
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Dom didn't even know he was following him. The only reason he knew is because he found a tracking device on his car, and Hobbs is like, "Well, I'm glad I put that tracking device, so you'd be dead." And he goes, "Oh, this tracking device? I knew you were coming." But how would he know that he was going to put a sniper rifle on him as well when they did that? Like,
They could have still taken out Luke Evans at that point.
so stupid and silly.
And this scene was the longest one-on-one conversation of the entire movie. Lasted way too long.
You think
Between
so?
Luke Evans
And this is when I announced this was the Oscar clip
clip?
they sent in. It kept going back and forth, so awkward, this conversation.
I thought Luke Evans is doing good.
Yes, it's one-sided, as usual. It's one-sided.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
And
I think
Dom's
Luke Evans is
responses
doing
are
good.
just like, okay, cold
I needed
family.
closed captions for that part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just a well, especially for Dom because he's whispering the whole damn thing through a smirk.
He's like, I'm running out of catchphrases.
Yeah. Oh, and we got to talk about this too. Hobbs and Ludacris go off to buy cars.
Oh my gosh, that was
Because-
the best scene
Because
right
this-
there.
they keep remembering, like it's like the screenwriter keeps going, "Oh yeah, I'm writing a Fast and the Furious movie. I gotta put cars in this thing again.
Heck yeah.
Like we gotta have nice cars. So let me put a scene in here all of a sudden about getting hot cars. So they have a whole buddy cop side adventure where they go get cars from a lot and they get a snooty guy and you think that Ludacris is gonna steal them and Hobbs is like, don't steal the damn cars, even though that this guy's like really rude to them and like obnoxious to these two characters. He just buys all the damn cars. Now, I mean, I guess he has $10 million, but holy crap, how much do you think he spent on these 5 cars?
I mean, they all get trashed, which really
But
is
I think like
tragic.
They're nice
Interpol or
cars.
whatever the police would have paid for it, be like, okay, here's
Yeah.
the money.
Jared pointed out that one of the cars is just not feasible for what they need it for. Yeah, it's no way that some of these cars would be great for what's going to happen in this movie, which we all knew was
The
coming.
one with the gigantic spoiler.
Spoiler. Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing with this?
You want to say it, Jeff? Oh, I thought you were going to say spoilers. I thought I saw it brewing in your head. I didn't know what was happening.
Thought about it.
Okay.
I thought about it.
So yeah, they got all these cars. The mission's coming together, I guess, because they're trying to get to what Shaw's group is going to do.
Like they know what he's going after, so they
No.
have like
What is he going after?
he has like what he said 3 or 4 days to find this thing that that would take out like 100, I don't know, million people or something like that.
No, see, that's all in parts. So I guess this is supposed to be the final part, and this is the last thing that they're going for. Which
So it's a chip. It's like a chip that they're trying to get. He has a doomsday device.
So what was the distraction in the opening? What were they doing that for?
the opening?
Remember the group was doing the electromagnetic thing on their cars that they don't do ever again, by the way. They were separated from Shaw, who was somewhere else, and it was some kind of distraction. So what were they stealing that time?
that was
The information?
No, I think that was the chip that was inside Interpol.
That's what I thought.
Right.
So
But
then
it was
what?
some sort of information that like the documents don't matter after a certain amount of days.
It was for the information on where the chip is stored because it changes every 96 hours.
Thank you. Okay, I forgot about that. That's right. And
I
of
was
course,
getting there.
Ludacris has like all this information. He keeps telling all
The
that.
Rubik's Cube of plots.
Yeah,
I know, it really
is.
was.
And I know we're forgetting a whole bunch of stuff. But we're just going to skip to the good parts now because
Yes.
they basically track down and they come up with an entire plan to take down Shaw's group, who are moving in a giant, like, dump truck-esque looking thing. It's huge. And they have this idea where they're going to shoot those harpoons against a bridge that they're on, and they're going to shoot it on the sides, and it does this cool thing where it ravels up so it tightens. Now, there's a lot of other cars that are not distracting from going on this road, and they're probably killing so many people. But this rope cuts these cars in half, and when it hits this dump truck, that's when we get the reveal that Shaw's group is secretly driving a tank.
Guys, we gotta come up with another plan. They got a tank.
I'm sorry. Did somebody just say a tank?
Oh,
That's a real
yes.
tank. That was a real
Okay.
tank that Justin Lin
Yes.
actually used because he wanted to do a practical effect.
The tank flies out of the top of this truck, just blows out. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
And that's where Tyrese is like, "Oh shit, we got to change the plan. They have a tank, right? No one else cares. They're like, yeah, it's a tank, whatever.
That is a smaller tank.
It's a
That's a pretty big
It's
tank.
not Abrams or anything like that. It's just a very small tank.
Oh
Is
my
it?
god.
I mean, it looked like a monster.
Their
It was,
tanks are much bigger.
it was literally rolling
really
over
nice.
cars. Like, it was killing, it was
It-
flattening cars.
Shaw here kills so
Yeah.
many pedestrians.
Yeah.
They're just destroying cars with people
Yeah.
in them. I mean, it is disturbing the level of
Unlike the
people they're
scariest
murdering.
bridge on
And
earth.
Shaw was like enjoying every single minute of it, and Letty's like, "What are you doing?
Yeah,
this
you don't
isn't the
have
plan."
to do this. Yeah, you don't have to do this. So they basically have to take down a tank. Now, there's two groups here though, because there's other stuff going on. Because there's also another truck that somehow survived the harpoon situation,
Yeah, that's odd.
and they're trying to take that guy down too.
Because that was the convoy. Because Shaw knew like where they were going.
Yeah.
For some strange reason, because I don't know, they were in a military base, and then they're like, "Oh my god, they're after the convoy" or something like that, and that's
Yeah.
how we get on the bridge.
But how his other guys, his whole convoy survives the harpoon is weird.
I don't know.
But they're all chasing, they're all broken up, and they're on both sides of a two-way highway that before they get to a bridge aspect of it, the tank is just going through the intersection, back and forth and killing people.
It was an incredible like scene, like just to watch. Oh,
It's done amazing.
crazy.
And that's why this is so much fun, because things
Yeah.
like this make you forget everything else that's happening in the film, and you're like, oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
Did they really destroy like a bridge?
I don't
like,
know.
in
I
real
don't think
life?
so. I think
no, but
probably
they
used
did
different
destroy
sections.
over 100 cars. I read.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
did go take a look back at that tank. It is gigantic. For some reason, I thought it was small.
It's
In some scenes,
huge.
it seems very small.
Which makes you think about the truck that it came out of was
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah, it was huge.
I even joked that it was a transformer. It looks like Optimus Prime just like blew up and it flies out of him. Yeah, so this tank is flying back and forth, and the cars are trying to chase down it. And of course, Tyrese is the only one that catches up to it, but gets in front of it. And this is the one car this tank cannot run over. So
Very
it just
weird.
perfectly pushes the tank. And they're actually trying to shoot him with the front of the tank.
Oh my god, it's so scary.
And Tyrese has to like stop his car and not go under the car, but bump it. So they're pushing him, and they never go side to side to get him under the wheels. So that leads them to go save him. They
I was
have to go
worried.
save
I was
Tyrese.
worried for
And that's the
Tyrese.
scene. Those are the scenes where I believe when I look at the tank from the angle, the tank looks smaller, as if it's not going to run it over. And in other scenes, it's gigantic.
Well, because it's like literally
it
running
keeps
over
changing
everything.
sizes. At least in my mind, when I was watching.
There's a camera on Tyrese's car that makes the car look bigger than in the shot. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
it doesn't roll right over Tyrese's car like it does all the other cars.
It actually starts at one point too, and it never fully
never
does.
really
I don't
does.
think.
No, it does.
It does when they get him off.
Yeah, it does start like chewing up the back of it, which makes no sense.
It doesn't. Yeah.
And then, how did Tyrese have like that cable? Like, was there was just like a random cable behind the back seat or something?
Yeah, he had
That's
a
the
cable.
harpoon weapons that they have.
No,
right?
but it wasn't. It was like a pulley system
Yeah,
in
was
his
it-
car.
Yeah, it was like a cable.
Yes, it was in the back seat of the car. I did see that as well. And he turns
Oh, you're
around
absolutely right
while
now. It
he's
does make
driving.
sense.
It's in there.
You're right.
Yeah.
He hooks it onto the front of the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is able to jump off of his car onto Brian's upcoming car. He flies onto it and catches on
the
and
roof.
they go drive and they have a good old like, yeah.
Yeah, they have like a big old smile, like high five, like, yeah, man.
Brian's going literally like 250 miles an hour, and Tyrese is just on the like hood of the car or the roof of the car, just wee. He's
Yes,
fine.
yeah.
He's fine.
And I think they're coming up to the bridge, right? And they get separated. They get split up. So Dom is on one side of the bridge. Tyrese and Brian are on the other side, and so is Giselle and Han are fighting off another guy. I think with Ludacris.
They're on motorcycles.
I think
they
they're in
were
a
on
truck.
motorcycles, but then like Giselle got
You're
off.
right.
Somebody got off a motorcycle.
Giselle was on a motorcycle. She had to jump off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Han
she got
caught
onto
her.
Han's car somehow.
Yeah.
Something. Oh no, they were the main guy. They took his truck over. She got on the side and put a gun. She was holding with one hand,
That's
and
right.
then she took with her
Weird.
other hand. She's just dangling there, and she's able to put a gun against the guy
That's
and make
right.
him stop his car. So they get that guy, but they're going, and now they've hit a bridge. It's a giant bridge, and they're separated. There's no median you can go over because there's two separate highways, like lanes now. And Dom's on the other side, and since Tyrese has hooked the hook with his like a pulley system to his car that gets run over, that car is dragging, and they come up with an idea to get an upcoming pillar that somehow is all the way between the two. I don't even know why that pillar's there.
No.
Because there's nothing above them to hold up.
No.
So that's weird. So
The whole,
that doesn't make any
whole
sense.
I
movie
mean,
is
it doesn't
weird.
have to make any sense.
Yeah.
It's just so bonkers that it
So
doesn't need to.
they're like, oh, I got an idea. Let's use the car and the pulley system to wrap around that pole to stop the tank.
It makes sense.
And it
They're-
works.
They're like, oh, it's an anchor.
We kept saying though, what doesn't make sense about that is because Brian teased the car to push it onto the other side so it could fall off between when they go to the bridge, and so it can get pulled down and then somehow get wrapped. But I was pointing out that the winch system would have been killing everybody because we see people getting out of their cars running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, all those people are getting cut in half by this damn.
Oh,
pulley
I'm
system.
sure most of them did get cut in half. It was pretty brutal. There was hundreds and hundreds of people running around that bridge.
Yeah. So Shaw says, Letty, get out of the damn tank and take that winch system off the damn thing so we can make it. So she gets out. Of course, she's like, oh, shit. I got to do all the hard work. So she gets out. But they're like, Letty, and Dom's like seeing it. Oh, my God, Letty's going to get, once that winch in the car pull, she's going to go flying. She's going to die. So this makes Dom
Crazy.
as fast as he can run toward the tank on the other side of the traffic with a divider, like the tire on the bridge up in the air. He's going to ram it, get out of his car, stand on it, and use the projection force of his car hitting the damn median to fly like Superman through the fucking air as Letty's tank gets pulled and Letty goes flying. He's able to Superman into her, catch her, spin backwards, and land right on his back into an upcoming car.
Yeah.
And they're fine.
And they're fine.
They're okay.
They're fine.
They're fine.
That windshield broke their fall.
The windshield broke. Dom's
I mean,
spinal
just
cord broke their
listening to
fall. Let's be
Yeah,
fair.
like listening to this, I'm like,
And somehow it worked out. Everything worked out. The tank is literally flipped somehow by this car, which I think would just have broke the winch system off. The winch system itself would have ripped out of the car before this ever happened.
Yeah.
But somehow this tank flips upside down.
Dom's move to save her. I completely.
Did you cry?
Yes.
I was amazed by his athleticism. Other than that, I was so distracted by it. I had no idea what happened to the tank.
Yeah,
but I
but-
saw the man
flipped
jump,
over.
and then I was like,
It took Jared
Oh, the
reminding
tank-
us the tank flipped over.
I go, the tank got away, and like, oh no, the tank flipped. That's what happened.
they got
I go,
them.
I was so distracted that whole scene.
Yeah, in this scene, we actually thought, well, how did Shaw get away? And then Shaw was taken. They got him. I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
got him.
What?
They didn't even bother showing us that. They just showed us the tank was flipped over, and I was like,
Because we were so hung up on the superhero that the action scene that just happened that it was so mind blowing and stupid. Everything before it doesn't even matter. Like everything's washed out of your brain instantly.
I think I figured it out.
Oh my god, I can't wait. Please.
Every time the word family is uttered, Dom gets more powerful.
It's like Venom boost or like Bane.
Yeah.
Like he's.
oh my gosh.
God bless you, Jeff. I love
I
it.
just thought of it. It's amazing.
This movie's action scenes are amazing, though. They
That
really
makes
are.
it.
It
You know
gets
what?
better.
That's the best. That's the best reasoning I've ever heard. So I'm going with your.
We're up to how many families now?
At the
In
end
this
of this
movie, we end up at 19 families.
Correction number 2, 21.
So he's 19 powerful now.
Oh yeah.
He's 19 powerful
His
now.
level.
His power level is 19 right now.
Yes, level
Joe,
19.
get that shirt made for him. Okay? He's 19 powerful now.
He's 19 powerful now.
We got
That's gonna be the
Vegeta. Look
shirt.
at the Vegeta, the famous meme of Vegeta, but say he's 19 powerful now.
Love it.
His power level is 19 families.
19 families.
You would think, like, after flipping the tank and catching Shaw, like, that's the end. Like, you're waiting for the credits.
And the fun fact, it actually was going to be. They were going to split this movie into 2 movies.
No.
And the next scene was going to be the next movie.
Oh, my God.
But here, they decided, no, this shit isn't crazy enough. Let's double down and do everything we wanted to do in the next movie, too, in this movie. That's why this budget's insane. So this next scene is even crazier. And everything that happens here will make everything that came before questionable, right? So Shaw is now brought in the middle of the entire group. They're brought back to that white station that they're at. They're all back in this weird hangar place. And they're all like saying hi to Letty and everything's great. And they're all happy. Everything's worked out. They're all going to be free. They can go back to America. And everything's great. Except Hobbs says, Dom, you have to hear this. And they bring Shaw over to them. And Shaw tells them, I have your whole family.
Yeah, guess what?
You failed. I told you. I already warned you. Remember those other guys that I was working with you never caught? What do you think they were?
Yeah.
And they literally disappear from the scene, so it makes a lot of sense. There's a whole bunch of characters missing.
Yeah, they didn't even see. The thing is, they didn't even bother to secure Mia and the baby at all. Like they left Elsa with her, but I'm like, okay, come on.
Who is an FBI agent?
Yes, but I mean, one person.
No, she's not an FBI agent. She
Yeah,
actually
well,
works for
she-
a police officer.
Yeah, but
She's crazy.
I don't know. I think okay, leaving one person with her and the baby.
Yeah.
Like you're dealing with like world criminals.
But Mia has Dom's blood. And so she's 19 powerful now.
Damn.
I think it only applies to Dom though.
Are you sure?
So Mia's only 16
Have you watched this
powerful.
movie? Do you see what Mia did in the last movie? Like, she drove that car out of that truck with no problem. And just
How
acted like
long
a
did
punk.
she hold his cross?
Oh, it might be in the cross, the 19 family power.
Yeah,
maybe.
but Letty left it on the table. So who has the power now? It's drained.
We'll get to where that cross is, because it comes back in the damn credits.
Sure do.
Oh, we know who has the cross now.
Yeah. We got to cross the bear, right, Jeff?
Oh.
So,
Ah.
so Shaw says,
This is crazy.
I have your entire family. I have Mia. I have your sister. Dom's face drops. And it's like,
Paul
what?
Walker.
And Paul Walker runs over there and punches Shaw in the face.
Heck yeah.
And he's like, we have to do it. And we have to go save Mia. Right? And Shaw's like, let me go, or you'll never see Mia again. We're going to kill her. Right? And they're like, the agency comes in, the Interpol goes, we're not going to let this guy go for one person. We're on hostage. He's a terrorist. And he has the device that we need.
Mm-hmm.
We need that device that can kill millions of people. And they're like, no. Hobbs puts a gun to that guy's head and says, no, free Shaw now for family. Right? They free Shaw. This is crazy. They free Shaw and Joe Taslim. They both get freed, and they go on the run. And they're on a military base with the longest tarmac you've ever seen in human history. I don't know what's happening in this film. But okay, just so many things to break down because while Shaw leaves, he says, "Honey, you coming with me?" And you think he's talking to Letty, but no, Riley is a villain who's been working with Shaw and is his girlfriend, and she's been an FBI mole this entire
It makes
time.
no sense. It's so stupid.
We got to break down everything that Riley
But
did in
wouldn't-
this film that makes no fucking sense. They
But
went
that-
and killed the hook guy. She brought
Yeah.
them to the guy that makes the weapons to take them down. She shot at Letty and the other two guys that were with Letty. None of this makes any sense.
She couldn't blow her cover.
I mean,
Yeah, but like
they
you,
kind of were blowing their own cover.
This
Like
is-
she's leading them to things.
This is Hobbs choosing her.
And Hobbs chose her.
And randomly, oh, by the way, I'm working for Shaw, or she got compromised within the 24 hours that she was beating up his goons.
I kind of wanted Shaw to say, I'm glad you picked one of the 50 agents I put on your table that you had to pick out of, like, Guess Who, the board game Guess Who. Just one of them. I'm glad you picked my girlfriend. Of all of those. I know you like a pretty smile.
Turns out he owns all of them.
All of them.
Except for Hobbs.
Ridiculous. Except for Hobbs, who's a 2-bit, apparently.
Because he won't accept anything under $2 million.
Well, to be fair, he lost every agent in the last film. So, yeah, he doesn't have a good following, I bet. So, yeah, this is crazy. But what's even crazier is that they're like, how is Shaw going to get away? Because he takes a car, Riley, Shaw, and the other guy all get in cars, and they drive off down the tarmac, and they all get in cars to chase them. Now they're like, how are they gonna? They're not gonna get away. We're gonna catch them. But then all of a sudden, the biggest airplane of all time flies down. So big that Tyrese points out, it's not a plane, it's a planet.
that was a good line.
So let's point this out, guys, because a terrorist plane has just entered airspace at a military base and hasn't been shot down.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
True.
This is crazy.
So this is a 13-minute runway chase that I'm reading on the trivia.
Where in what city? Are we in London?
Minute.
Yeah, I think we're still in London, right?
They're in Spain.
What?
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah, I think
confused.
they're in Spain.
They're somewhere on this planet.
But
Well,
it's
that's
13
true.
minutes.
Well, they
Yeah.
had a fascist government until like 75, so
Yeah, okay.
So
let me just stretch it out a little bit.
the runway would have to be 18 miles long.
That's close.
18 miles to complete this scene.
What's that in kilometers?
In kilometers, it's 29. Smart ass.
Wow.
18 miles. And Jesus Christ, guys.
18 miles of heaven.
So yeah, so we'll get to break down everything that happens here because I don't. There's so much that occurs in this scene. The plane lands perfectly in front of them for the hangar door. Like I think that's what you call it, right? Like the hangar bay opens up.
Yeah, the cargo bay.
The cargo bay, and Shaw is able to drive his car up in there with Riley, and they have Mia on board already, and their other goons all ready to go. And they even have those cool cars ready to go on there. And they have a whole hangar of cars on this thing. And Shaw gets in there perfectly, but the other guys don't. The other guy gets chased down and they have an entire runway fight with him while every single car is stocked with those harpoon guns now. They didn't know this was going to happen. They never knew this was going to happen, but every single car that they have jumped into has a harpoon gun.
Yep, of course.
And of course,
it's like having, a USB port.
Yep.
You know?
What?
Like standard.
Oh, I guess so. But like the thing is, it's like you
You
would
think
think
every
like,
vehicle comes standard with a harpoon
gun?
Yeah,
but you would think like, oh, their
Harpoon gun,
mission was
standard.
already done, so they're like, let's just
I
unload
think
some
just keep it
things.
in there just for shits and giggles, just in case they need it. You
That
know.
makes
And I just got an image of the runway. It's actually in donut form.
What? They kept going in circles.
That's what I said too during the
Yeah,
film.
he said that too, and I kept saying, well, I want to when I was telling him, but yeah. So, of course, the only car that's fast enough to get on board with Shaw is Dom.
Yes.
Dom rides his car in there, and perfect timing. While Shaw drives in, he tells Riley, "We don't need the girl anymore. shoot her in the head when we get on board. So they bring Mia up. They drive in. Riley gets around the car, cocks her gun, and exactly the time she's about to shoot Mia in the head, Dom goes flying into her. Is Dom flying into her, or is that Hobbs? I think it's
Dom.
Dom
does
with
go.
his hand almost behind his back. He jumps. With his, like,
no.
chest front. Is that
We're talking about the
part
car.
kind of-
We're talking about the car
Okay.
drives in and hits Riley, and she
Okay.
goes flying over.
Oh,
She doesn't- What's crazy about that is she doesn't go flying out of the plane.
No,
when she
she
gets hit by
doesn't,
this car,
no.
she just gets a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, she's fine. She's okay.
She's okay.
She tucked and rolled.
Yeah, and also I should point out in the car with Dom, I think is Letty said, "I'm going with you." So I think it's Brian,
And
Dom,
Letty, yeah.
and Letty are all in this car, and they hit Riley. She goes rolling back, and they all get out of the car and have a gunfight. Of course, Dom has a shotgun. He's on lead. Now, I don't know how they don't know they're not shooting Mia by accident. They just kind of start unloading into this plane. And, of course, all their guns run out, so they have to have fistfights.
Of course they do. I mean, it has to be big guy against big guy.
So Letty, of course, Lifty fights Riley.
Yes, girl against girl.
Girl against girl. We're
Yeah.
having a pay. By the way, see, that's another. When she was working for Shaw, they had a subway fight.
Yeah.
It does not. That's correct.
Why
I
would
don't
she
get
do that?
scene.
Well, she had to keep up appearances.
But why? Did they know that one day that Letty was gonna betray them?
I don't know. That's bizarre.
It's,
Maybe she was jelly.
It's like
Of
Shaw
Letty.
knew this was all gonna occur. It's so weird.
He's always one step ahead.
He's a mastermind.
Well, we get everybody fighting together now, and so they basically have to switch partners of who they're fighting because
Mm-hmm.
Dom is like I think getting his ass kicked by Brian is getting his ass kicked by
By the big
by
dude.
Shaw.
No, the big dude in the
And
purple shirt.
The
Brock
big guy
Lesnar-looking
walks
guy.
in. Yeah, and I think that's when The Rock gets on board too.
He flies.
This
in.
is there's a lot of stuff
There's
going on.
so much going
Rock
on
gets on
inside there.
board and has a fight with the big guy. He takes the big guy.
Yeah.
Because I think Shaw is just like spin kicking everybody like all around this place.
Yeah, first of all, he's like maybe 5'4". How does his leg get all the way up there? It was a bit extra on the stuntman's part. He should have dialed that back a smidge.
Shaw has like a giant with him.
Yeah.
There's a giant guy, and he fights The Rock.
And while Shaw's fighting, he has like a little he has like a cigarette in his mouth while he's beating everybody up. He's like, good show, old chap. While he's beating everybody up.
But this is the scene where Vin does the amazing move.
To save, I don't remember who he's saving here. I thought it was the Brian.
That was the final scene to save his sister. That's what she's talking about, right?
The one where
when
he
does a
he does the
flying headbutt.
Lucha Libre move, though.
Oh yeah, with that
Nacho
headbutt. That
Libre.
was really
It
cool.
looks like a goat ram.
People call it the dolphin headbutt online. And I know I've seen this before.
I've only seen it in that movie, Nacho Libre, when you die with your head first.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to describe it.
I don't either.
Your,
It works.
head's all the way back to achieve maximum thrust.
Oh,
Gary said thrust.
I know.
Gary said thrust.
so when this is all happening, the rest of the group has to somehow stop the airplane from liftoff. And like Joe said, 18 minutes is going by.
No, 13 minutes is going by. 13 minutes of this scene. But it would take 18 miles of runway to complete this scene. So they're 18 miles of runway, that's a lot. That's insane.
And how long is a scene?
13 minutes.
It's 13. It's only 13 minutes. This feels
Yes.
like a way longer
It was
sequence.
really long.
13 minutes long.
It's like,
That doesn't seem
they
right.
kept going back and forth between like what's happening on the ground.
Because
It's
there's
like,
so many characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
But
and
it's
then,
such like high octane though, so like you can't really feel.
So let's break down what every character is doing in
Yes.
the scene because
Yeah.
they
There's
all
quite a
have
lot.
to. They all have to get their the plane stopped. So they're on each side of this plane, and they start all harpooning it with the car weight to hold the plane down.
Mm-hmm.
So we got. I think we're having a show off with Shaw's last henchman. He's in the car. He gets thrown into. I think they shoot him into the back of the engine of the plane, so he goes
that was
flying back.
Ludacris and Tyrese,
They
right?
beat him, yeah. Then they shoot their harpoons from their cars to into the plane wing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, we have Giselle and
Han.
Han.
They also shoot their harpoons.
But at the same time, I think a bad guy shows up, and they have to fight this bad guy, and their cars both get harpooned on, and
she sacrifices herself,
and she
to kill the bald henchman
because Han is holding on to her, so I won't let you go. But she lets him go so she can shoot the bald henchman behind him while they're in full movement on this tarmac with an airplane engine going. She's able to jump out and shoot her gun perfectly to shoot this guy and save Han.
I mean,
and she dies.
She's like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
We don't even see her die. She just goes into the dark.
Yeah, you don't see anything because Han's like, no.
Well, we should light a candle.
Yes.
For Giselle.
Yes.
Do visual, but none of her family members care.
No one cares.
So it doesn't matter.
No one cares.
Brian kind of cares.
Matter what her name
Mia kind of cares, but no one else even references
No,
it.
but I mean, Luda and Tyrese are having the time of their lives because they're harpooned up onto the wing.
Yes.
And their car's just lifting off the ground.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They let the pain in for maybe about 5 seconds. They're like, all right, let's go.
So that's when we get the flying headbutt. We get everybody going on board.
And then like Paul Walker and Mia were able to get out.
Yes.
It's like there was like the blonde girl too.
The
She was
blonde girl
somewhere
gets in her race car and drives off, and Brian tries to save Mia from the airplane by getting off as well. But she basically starts chasing down that woman, and they end up beating her.
Well, don't they jump from the airplane into a moving car?
Yeah, that's like, yes. So, well.
No,
towards
that's
the
later
end.
on.
Yeah.
Brian and Mia are already out.
They're
Yeah,
the
they had
only
a
smart
car.
ones. They get
Yeah.
into the freaking car and back it out of the plane.
They get out instantly.
Yes.
He's trying to save Mia, his wife. So, but, you know, it makes sense for his girlfriend. I don't know if they're fully married.
They're
or
not
whatever.
married.
But they get out, and that's when they get the chase goes with that other woman. But they stop her. I don't remember exactly
Yeah.
what happened. She dies somehow. I don't remember.
Yeah,
So,
she like flips and goes
then
crazy.
Luda and
Brian's like using the divider in the runway to make her guess, and she runs into it and like.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and I think they also harpoon, but they
Yeah, they
used the
do.
car on board, so I don't know how they had one.
No, I think Brian and Mia just drove off. That's it.
Because
but
later
they-
on they're in front.
Yeah, they are in the front. I think they did harpoon
Yeah,
something.
they had a harpoon and
They
they,
did.
they
Mia-
shot the flap of the wing.
And I'll
Yeah.
explain that 2 cars have left, so the weight on this thing didn't change much. So they harpoon as well, I think, and because they're trying to stop Dom, to let Dom get off. But Hobbs and the Rock, Hobbs and Dom. Sorry, Hobbs and Dom have a fight where they beat those 2 guys. They beat Shaw, and they beat this big guy. And Shaw goes, basically, he does the flying headbutt, and Shaw goes flying outside the back of the plane, just like Giselle, into the darkness. Right? He goes flying out of the back of the plane. And they also killed Riley by shooting her with a harpoon, and she goes flying, I believe.
That was funny.
I think
Libby-
Hobbs throws
yeah.
Libby the harpoon before they
And
left.
she's
She
like-
gets hit directly in the chest, and while she's out the plane, you can hear her screaming.
Yes, you can.
How is that a thing possible? You just got harpooned.
It's not.
Yeah.
It has NOS on it.
Yeah.
But Gary, you're
they
talking
put NOS
about
on
They
it.
put NOS on his harpoon.
Yeah.
And she's like,
But you're trying to rationalize the scream. Oh my god, that's the thing you're like trying to rationalize.
So,
I like how Letty's like, wrong team, bitch.
yeah, that's right.
And then
Long
boom.
team. So Hobbs says, we got to get the hell off this plane. It's about to crash, right? It's because they also, I think,
They
Ludacris blew up
harpooned
one of the engines.
The engine, yeah.
Oh, no. Han did. Han chucked the guy that killed
Oh,
Giselle.
yeah.
Basically, he starts beating the shit out of her, and I think he's able to throw him into the engine somehow, and it blows up. And it doesn't
great.
kill him. He's still fine right there.
Yeah.
The engine is exploding right next to him.
and I swear I hear the bionic woman or man sound.
There's a lot of that in this. But Hobbs says we have to jump out, and he's able to jump out of the side of door into his car perfectly. That's also harpooned like, along the
I
side.
mean, how fast are they
I actually
going?
think they're
Jesus.
jumping into Ludacris's car.
Yeah, they're jumping into Ludacris's car,
And
and,
it
it's like a big,
lands
humongous like Jeep.
And
basically.
Dom makes Mia go. Or not Mia.
No.
Mia's already gone. Brian. I mean
Letty.
And Letty jumps in there.
Perfect landing.
Perfect landing. And Dom is left alone on the plane as it starts crashing. And they're like, "Oh shit, Dom."
Dom ran back in because he saw Shaw.
Mm-hmm. He saw
Well, he already-
Shaw.
they chucked him out of the plane.
No, Shaw was like in like a car,
Why didn't you stop me when I said it?
Well, because I had to think about it for a moment.
Yeah, I realized it
doesn't
now.
It doesn't matter. But anyways, Shaw is there, and
He's done.
like,
He's dead. Let's just move on. He's dead. So
but like Dom got the chip is the main thing.
Dom went and got the suitcase.
Yes.
And as the plane starts crashing,
And engulfed in
and
flames.
all of our characters, now the plane hits the thing and starts blowing up, and all of our characters are back on the runway, still harpooned onto the plane, driving in front of it as it's like a fireball, and they're all like, Dom's on board, right? And all of a sudden,
Crazy.
Dom has driven a car from the back of the airplane through all of the cargo and through the control
The control panel,
Yeah.
the
whole
plane.
where the two guys are flying
Yep.
in a fireball is able to jump out of the front of the plane and land, and they're all like, "Yay, Dom!" But he goes behind the plane while it's on fire, and they're like, "Oh my god, did he make it?"
So he walks out of the flames
So they
like
all
the
stop.
T-1000.
Well, we should say that they stopped only minutes from the end of the runway, right?
Yeah, they
only
almost-
minutes away.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, they almost ran out of the
In
runway.
that moment, when they're looking at the flame, and Dom emerges, I looked over to see our our watchers' faces. Joe had that crooked, almost mouth a little bit wide open, almost like I don't know, shocked or stunned, or like what is this?
I think Erin perfectly said, she goes, "Is he going to emerge from the flames with the suitcase?" And then when it happened, everybody was like,
Yep.
And Joe was just so happy. Everybody was uplifted. I think Joe cried when Giselle died, didn't you?
I mean, I kind of got like a
She
little
got a
teary.
little
But my
choked up.
favorite thing is like Vin says to The Rock, here's your $1 billion chip, and I just feel like that's just like really the wrong thing to say. I mean,
He says, "Is it it's like $1 billion, huh? Or like over $1 billion, huh?" And he says, "What do you want, Toretto?" And he's like,
The Rock pulled a gun
Does anyone
on
remember
a
the name?
fellow agent
1327.
Thank
for
you.
him,
Jeez.
and it's like apparently The Rock is not family yet.
no, The Rock's not family.
Why?
The Rock pulled a gun on an agent for
him. Yeah.
I thought at that moment he's part of the family now, and at the end we're still negotiating. So, Hobbs, we're gonna get our freedom. Like, what do we get in exchange? He gives the address, what, 1367 or whatever it is. They're acting as if like they're still on other sides of the black and white.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to skip to the later scene, but it's like you see him later on at the house, and it's like,
Yeah, so, well, he says he wants 1327.
1327. That's what he wants.
1327. And I was
can't believe
like,
it.
what does that mean?
Dom wants his house back. Whoever moved into it,
Get him out.
get him out.
Get the fuck out.
And I want my tuna shop back. I want
Yeah.
everything back. I want my old house and my old family back. That shithole that we were living in, we want it back. And they get it. And they have a nice little barbecue where they leave Han on the side drinking a Corona, thinking about his dead girlfriend. You know, this is some fucked up stuff going on here, guys.
Yeah.
Everybody's having a great old time. Letty and Dom are just like kissing. Everybody's happy, like shoving it in there. And also, this is where Hobbs shows up with Dom's ex-girlfriend now,
Yeah, Elsa.
who gives Letty a moment to go over there and say, "Hey, thanks for taking care of him."
Oh, she took
While
care
I
of
was
him all right.
missing.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, and then she's like,
Couple
do you,
times.
"Do you remember anything?" And she goes, "No, I don't remember anything, but this feels like family.
Yeah.
This feels like home."
Yeah, so Dom comes over and Elsa says, "Yeah, you go ahead and be with your family. I have my own family," and she pats her tummy. So we know she's pregnant.
At first, I thought she was pointing towards her badge. You know, like that's my
I thought
family.
so too.
Her vag?
Oh my god, dirty.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Scott.
I thought you said vag. But you
Her
said
very
badge?
important
I have to sleep next to
Brazilian
him
police
tonight.
officer badge. That's my family. Then I realized, oh, the way Dom would look at her, like, oh.
Yeah.
And then he's like, shrugs his shoulder.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Dom is all about family, but when it's his like actual child and the mother of his child, he's like, eh.
I mean, it's kind of rough right
Yeah.
then to like
So-
spring that on him.
We'll see you in Fast 20.
Yeah. So now let's talk about how Hobbs and Dom have a little conversation in the most awkward shot
Oh
of
my
all
God,
time.
it was so weird. They weren't even looking at each other. I
They're
don't even
standing
think
side by side and talking off into
I.
the distance
Yeah.
at each other.
There's
Rock
no-
is like facing a wall.
Now,
Yeah.
due to high definition television, back then you could not tell as well as you can now.
Is that true?
Yes, it because you're seeing a more a higher HD pitch, higher definition visual of how they filmed it, more realistic when you watch it on a DVD or something. You are seeing how close they are, and how you can tell the angles that they're looking at each other.
No. You're misinterpreting the scene. They're actually not supposed to be talking to each other. They're supposed to be like, oh, I'm so badass, I'm not going to actually talk to you. So they're standing like side by side and like talking off at each other.
It's like one's talking over the other.
He's
shoulder.
purposely not like, they don't want to show that they're like friends.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're actually like, I'm going to talk into the garage away from you.
Now,
But it makes
from
him look huge and it makes one look small.
From my point of view,
It looks like the Hobbit.
From my point of view, I thought it was to make them look like they're the same size.
No, no, because Vin Diesel's
taking-
huge. He looks like a giant. It's creepy looking. And in another shot, he looks even funnier. Like the two shots keep changing.
No, but it's so weird. For like 2 minutes, we're like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, it's odd.
Like Truman Show, like what's going on?
I've seen other people making fun of this online too, and I
don't even-
completely forgot about it
I don't
until I
even
saw it
think they're
again.
really interacting with each other. Like I really feel like somebody like had a body double and like said the lines and then.
But you can see both their faces.
No,
I know, but there was one part where I was like, that does not look like The Rock. That looks like somebody else.
I have not seen this movie before, but I remember seeing this specific scene taken in photographs on Reddit or something online, and people are saying, like, he filmed this on purpose at the end to show that they were about the same size.
There's no way.
I
They
don't
don't
know.
even
I'm
look
just looking at
close
a
to
room,
being
but I
the
have
same
no
size.
idea. So
Yeah, if you watch it, they actually show them in the last shot. Dom walks away from him while Hobbs is staring into the garage.
It's really bizarre.
Because it's supposed to be like them like having a mutual respect for each other, but not admitting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's supposed to be.
I get
Right?
that, but it's still a weird looking shot.
Yeah,
Please back me up on this.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is, too, I think it's just the perspective. At one point, you see Rock looks way bigger. Of course, he already is way bigger than Vin Diesel. But we see Vin's bigger than The Rock. Then we see another perspective in which
Yes.
The Rock is like straight into your face.
Yes.
He's like grew in size like twice.
So
and then
crazy.
Dom shrank down by half.
Whatever Justin Lin was thinking here, I don't know. It is terrible. I got to listen to some commentary on this part because I want to know what he thought was going on here.
I wish we had at the end The Rock and Tom fixing back and forth on a tube. Big or smaller, taking turns. I'm sorry, I got this image in my head.
I thought this was when the feud started.
So, yeah, I don't know. So we know that going forward, they can't stand each other.
Yeah.
They hate each other's guts. And I don't know if Vin Diesel hates him, but The Rock refuses to work with him ever again. So I know that's happening, and I don't know if this is where it started.
I heard The Rock hated Vin Diesel because he was too much of a showboater.
This is
yeah, but then Dwayne Johnson saying that is even more crazy. He's
well,
just as bad.
Well, you jogged my memory. This was the photo now that Vin Diesel sent on his Instagram account saying, "Hey Rock, we need you for I don't know which movie it was."
Yeah.
Nice, like, hey,
They basically
we're
asked him to
family.
come back.
And I remember people commenting
We're gonna-
on, look at this photo. Like
Yes.
how he made it like they seem like they're the same size, and that's maybe where I got the idea. But I remember that specific photo he sent him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get into the whole online battle between all these actors. It's so crazy going forward and what happens in real life.
Spoilers, Jeff.
Big spoilers going forward. But we have an end credits scene, which changes everything. Because these movies were all prequels until this moment. Because now we're finally catching up to the future movie after this movie, which is Tokyo Drift. Because Han and Giselle said, I think we should finally go to Tokyo. Although in the beginning, we think they were in Tokyo.
They were in Tokyo.
Yeah, they were in Tokyo.
Then he's like, you know what? I have to go to Tokyo for Giselle. Which makes no sense when you watch Tokyo Drift because he's flirting with other women. If he's devastated about losing a woman, you think that he would be a completely different character. So these movies don't have any clue what they're doing whatsoever. And what's even crazier is now we find out that when Han died in a fiery crash from the villain of Tokyo Drift, it wasn't him at all. It was actually Jason Statham playing Shaw.
Yeah.
Deckard Shaw.
That doesn't make any sense.
The brother.
We don't know that till the next movie, though.
I'm telling you now. Hey, I don't give a shit. What do you guys do? Who cares? Turns out that he has Dom's cross because guess who had it before? It was Owen Shaw. Right? So he has the cross of Dom and he throws it at Han while he's in the car before it blows up. And he calls Dom and says, "You don't know me, but I'm coming for you," or something like that.
But you will.
But you will.
But you will.
And the car
Yeah.
blows up with Han in it.
It's like the end of Fast Five when the extra and the after credit scene. You see Michelle Rodriguez, the pitcher.
Yeah.
And thank God Michelle Rodriguez looked at the movie
Because she found out
Yeah.
she was
She
coming
found
back.
out through that way.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Jeremy Statham didn't find out the same way. They didn't CGI
Jeremy Statham. When you know him like he does, it's Jeremy.
Like, they didn't CGI him in, and he watched the film like, holy crap, I'm in the next film.
That would have been something.
So what's odd here is that Jason Statham actually wanted to be Owen Shaw. And he tried out, and they were like, no, you're too awesome
Oh, I said
to do that. So Jeremy Statham, he's like, we're going to bring you back. I have an idea. So we want you to do this end credits thing, and we're going to bring you back for a next movie as the villain. Because we're going to up our stakes. And so we're going to have you come back. So he was supposed to be the villain in this one. So that's weird.
So is the next one Hobbs and Shaw?
Nope.
Next one's Furious 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's get the real Shaw in.
The real Shaw? Who's the real Shaw?
So
I have no idea. I think Gary's just
know.
drunk.
Yeah,
So-
I think so.
So now, like, look, the characters are in totally different spots. They've become a whole new group of characters. Everybody's changed completely. The series is off the rails, as Jeff said before, and it's merging into something completely different. And I think you said we should have done what we think is going to happen next. So for those in this room who have not seen the next one, where do we think we're going?
Wait, number 7 in the world? Italy. Why not?
So you think we're going to Italy?
Yeah, they
And
got
wh-
like some pretty cool, like, scenery. I don't know.
Where's the movie going?
I'm thinking geographically because it always goes somewhere like else, like, Mexico,
Guam.
Spain, Europe. I'm like, I don't know where this movie is going to go next because,
Well, you got to top it. You got a tank in this film. You have a plane fight sequence. How do we top it?
well, you guys like kind of spoiled a little something, like they're going to go in space, which
Well,
I
that's
don't,
way later.
but I don't believe it. There's no way.
That's way later
They're
anyways.
not astronauts. They're just a bunch of street racers.
Each movie's got to top it a little bit. Each
Is
movie's
there
got to step it
knots
up
on
and do something
a
crazy.
rocket? I don't know. Is there? Oh my God. Is
They
there?
have harpoons on the rocket too.
Oh God.
Trying to harpoon the moon, baby.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's all
where...
got to come back.
Remember Dom's headbutt move? The
Yeah.
thrust? Imagine that.
The dolphin. Oh
On a
God.
space shuttle.
Maybe I don't know, cause like, I I have no idea. Like maybe like Dom's kid shows up in like Fast 7 or something.
Okay. All right. That could be a possibility.
Maybe that's like maybe Fast Furious like 20. But you know, like the kids grow.
Well, wait. In this movie, we got a tease of who the villain is.
Mm-hmm.
There was like connection there. I can't wait for you to see some things because again we're gonna keep questioning what because this movie already did soap opera number 1, right? We did Amnesia, death of a character who came back and has amnesia. So we already got that out of the way. This series is doing everything. Then we got a new pregnancy. You know, we get everything. Like it's crazy, and so each movie's got to step it up with this insane plot line.
You know what? Maybe they got some of their scenarios from Days of Our Lives because that show was
I
crazy.
absolutely agree with you. I think that's exactly what they're doing.
Is someone gonna get possessed?
I wish.
Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Where is Marlena?
That's the crossover with the nun.
Marlena? Marlena.
You're insane.
Something. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to
Yeah.
ratings.
All right, let's
Oh boy.
let's go around the room. So, Jeff, have you seen this movie before?
I saw some of it.
Okay. So, what would I don't remember what you gave the last movie, but
I believe I gave it a 7.
okay. So, what about this movie? Out of 10.
I'm gonna give it a 7 also.
Okay. Aaron,
Yeah.
you love the last one.
I love the last one. I just felt like the last one just had like the perfect chemistry and actually like a better plot. I was a little confused with this going back and forth and got a little dizzy from just watching it sometimes. I'm giving this like a 4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm giving it a 4.
Wow.
That's okay. Joe.
Okay. Well, I absolutely love this one. I'm going 7. Loved it. I had so much fun with this. It was so bonkers. And all the gang was back together. Love it. Love that.
Okay.
You gave Fast 5 a
6.
6.
Mm-hmm. This one was better.
Well, to answer your last question, I like the. I feel that they're now international team that will deal with espionage. So I feel their next mission, now that they have their freedom, right? I don't think we're going to go back into that. They're going to commit crimes anymore. I feel now they're going to be a force for American agencies or international agencies in some terrorist organization. I think they're going straight up against a terrorist group, and I have not seen any of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've never seen the rest of these, and that's the way I feel that this is headed.
Okay.
They're not.
And how do you think Jason Statham ties into that and what he did with Han?
He's coming back for revenge.
So it's gonna be another revenge movie. Right?
I think this one's a revenge movie, but I don't know if he is if he's setting them up. I don't think. I hope not because Han died. That they're gonna do another revenge movie where, all right, we're gonna risk our freedom again to go revenge Han. I hope it's not that again.
Okay. So what was your score?
Last week I gave Fast 5 a 6. I think I'm gonna give this one. I think 5 is better. Fast 5 is better than 6, but I don't want to give this one a 5. I'm gonna give this one a 6.
Okay.
You know, I just don't know which one. I think 5 is better, but I don't think it's a whole level score lower than 6.
Okay. Jared.
Wow. So yeah, I did enjoy this one, but I still enjoyed 5 a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I still think 5 is a little bit better. So it's like I have to kind of agree with Gary at some point to this with what his score, because I was thinking of 5, but is it that much? Is it one full better? Just based on that statement, I have to go with a 6.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that because I think this one's better than 5.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a point better than 5. You don't think so either?
I guess my watch didn't think so.
Possessed.
It is. Oh my god, that's the next plot.
So I don't think it's better. Well, no, I think it is better, but I don't think it's better enough to get another point up to go to 7.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they step up a lot of good stuff here, and they fix a lot of things I have problems with. But I think the faults keep coming out.
I mean, come on, faults really with they're flying like flying.
No, that's
squirrels.
exactly
It's
right.
like- it's
That's
like,
the Dom stuff.
it's getting crazy.
The Dom stuff is superhero stuff and insanity and
No,
like when
Hobbs did it too. Hobbs did the squirrel jump
yeah,
too.
without a doubt. I think that what I mean is like the fighting, the parts with Tyrese and Han fighting, the guy in the subway. That's great. The action here stepped up. Like the tank scene is incredible.
It's incredible.
There's stuff. Even the opening scene with the Shaw doing the escape with all the things blowing up. It's great. But
a Fast 6, the plot felt more straightforward. Where it's a simple thing they have to do.
Yeah, this feels
and,
like
and there's lots of different side quests we're doing left and right. If Fast 5 had a simple plot like this, I think Fast 5, I would be like no issue with 7 or 8 giving it. Where it's a straight plot and it's a fun movie where it just kept jumping back and forth. We didn't know what was the purpose of what's going on.
Yeah.
But this movie, where it had a straight script and I was excited about that, but then the movie was like, okay, we're gonna be over the top now, and it just kind of like made you forget why we're doing it.
That's where the fun comes in, though. That's where the
I
fun
understand
comes
it does, but sometimes you forget, like, okay, why are we doing this again?
Yeah.
Oh, that character died. Like, you didn't care. The action was so over the top. Like, you didn't care, like, oh, that our family member died, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, they're finally good guys in this. They're not like being bad guys or.
So yeah, that's why like the last one was the heist film. It's like the Ocean's movie. I keep saying, and this one feels like the Avengers now. Like they're superheroes. Like it's a little crazy, and it gets even more insane as the next ones keep happening to the point where I'm numb from the action now. So we'll see when we get there, but I definitely think I enjoyed so many more aspects of this more than the last film.
This
Although,
movie's a hoot.
like if you're going against the action scenes, this one rocks it out. But it's overly long for no reason, and they're trying to do too many damn plot lines and too many twists that don't make any sense.
Yeah, there's a lot that doesn't make sense, but I mean, this is the most fun that I've seen in all of them, so I liked it the best.
And I remember the next one being my favorite one. So I'm really dreading watching it a second time because I'm worried about how bad it's going to be.
We'll see.
But yeah. Anything else?
I was gonna say, Aaron, what was your is this your lowest rated movie?
Oh,
out of
I
the
don't remember.
franchise?
I think it is.
Maybe,
I think it is.
No, because
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
I did not really. I was like, there's
I
something.
thought you gave the first one a 4 also.
I think I gave the first one a 4 as well. Like I couldn't
So
give it
you
a
put this
5.
on par with the
Yeah, with the first one.
Fast and the Furious?
Well, because like I felt like 5 was better because like
You're immune to explosions.
no, like there was crazy explosions like in the 5th one with like the whole train scene and like the
Yeah, you gave the
cars
last
and
one
it-
an 8.
It was awesome.
Yeah, she liked the
Oh,
last
I
one.
love the last one.
I kind of feel if you like 5, you're gonna like 6.
But you know what? 6 was like it was hard, like watching it and then trying to explain it. Like I felt like 6 was harder to explain because it kept going back and forth, and I was trying to like kind of catch up with like what Shaw was doing, and then I was like, wait, who's this character again? I was like, what are you?
And I wonder if we watch the original next week. Like what would you give? Like I don't know.
First one?
The first one, like I
Oh, wait,
feel
oh,
I would
God,
be
yeah.
satisfied with my 3.
It's bad. I don't
Yeah.
like that
Like,
first one.
like that's why I kept it at 3. I go, it's so bad.
Yeah,
And looking back at all of these, I go, like, yes, these others are over the top, but it's so incompetent.
I mean, like 6 really is.
I didn't give it that bad of a score, the last one either. So
I mean,
the
like,
first one.
6
You give it like a
I
5?
gave it a 5.
Yeah, like I think it's way too high.
Yeah, I mean, like
Five
this
is
one
too high.
wasn't
4 is
bad.
perfect.
I mean, like maybe, like I guess it's like more of like on the middle. It's like a 5. Like I think 5 is better, and just like it made sense and it was a lot more.
We need
fun.
line charts next week of our.
Yeah.
The drops and ups and downs.
Yeah. So I don't know.
All right. Joe, you good?
You good?
I'm good. My earphones were throwing my earrings into my skull. So I had to take my earrings out.
Ouch.
Wow.
I'm good now though. It was like pushing my earrings into my head.
Like harpoon guns.
Yeah, like harpoons. Yeah.
With nuts.
Not good. Nuts.
So, all right. Thanks for listening. Next week will be the 7th movie in the franchise.
Yeah.
And then the 7th one is the last one of Paul, right?
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. This is gonna be a sad one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like it.
We'll see.
I don't think I'm gonna like it either.
All right. Thanks for listening. Have a good one. Bye.
Okay, bye.
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
It's gone off the rails.
Yes. So, like, how did...
No. He, she poked it right in his eye. She put her whole hand. She's like, why is Brock? Why is the?
Why?
Who
Okay.
is Brock?
No. Okay. Do not mess with an Italian while she's trying to figure something out.
I don't know what I should have done with my hands.
Jeff hardly has eyes to poke out. So how you even found his eyeball?
Oh, jeez. So, okay, let's
This
backtrack.
show has gone off the rails for sure.
Go. I'm trying to think
Let's back
here,
up
okay?
because
Just reverse it. Okay, so